presentation of primetime college football is brought to you by Rolaids. Rolaids, R-O-L-A-I-D-S, spells relief. By TGI Fridays. In here, it's always Friday. And by Nike. Absolutely gorgeous night in the Commonwealth, and filled to capacity is Commonwealth Stadium. As tonight, the 2-1 Wildcats play host to the Florida Gators. And I know that in visiting with him on Wednesday, Steve Spurrier, Mike Gottfried was about as happy as I have heard him in a long time, and for very good reason. But let's go back and talk about that letdown thing. For starters, one of the things he admitted about his football team, he said, we're not as mighty as everybody thinks we are. Talk about letdown.
Well, it happens every week in college football. Players can't afford the luxury the fans have. Fans can go back and look at last week's game. They can read about it. They can talk about it. Players can't. They can't look behind. They can't look ahead. They got to focus on what's going to happen here tonight. You'll see a letdown if you see penalties, mistakes, turnovers early for Florida.
Mike, one of the things also we have found out about the Kentucky staff this week, they didn't go back and look at video of the Tennessee game. They went back and looked at video of those first 2 ball games. Now, tell us why.
Well, they felt Western Michigan and Central Florida really exploited the secondary, young secondary of the Florida Gators. Tennessee tried to run the football and tried to get mixed, but Western Michigan went right after the secondary and hit a lot of big pass plays, and then hit them with and gouged them with some big running plays. And then the week after, Central Florida came in. You can see another big play here. So they got a lot of yardage, Central Florida did in the second half.
Hal Mumme hoping tonight that he could pull the biggest upset in his coaching career, and certainly it would be if he were able to knock off this very good Florida Gator team. And Steve Spurrier, 10th season as the head coach, 96 wins, and it doesn't take a math major to figure out that is very close to 10 per season. Awfully good numbers. Florida has won the toss, and they will receive. Kentucky will kick it off. So we'll see the Florida offense tonight. Right now, the temperature 86, but it's supposed to be extremely comfortable this evening. It's supposed to be down into the 50s by the time we are playing in the second half. Wind is not a factor. Clear and cool. Just a gorgeous night in the Bluegrass State.
Ron, I just feeling that Steve Spurrier would like to, in his first 20 plays, get at least 10 runs to give his offensive line a chance to knock Kentucky off the ball.
Well, one of the things that has been discussed, that Graham, the redshirt freshman who played so well last week and has played well since the beginning of the year, that Graham is a difference maker, and that we might see a lot of him in the early going of this football game. Carroll is the deep man. Samuel approaches the ball, and we're underway. And this is going to send him about 7 yards deep in the end zone. And let's check in on the sideline with our big buddy, Adrian Karsten. Adrian.
Ron, thanks very much. You know, the last time we saw Doug Johnson start at quarterback for the Florida Gators on ESPN practically 2 years ago tonight, that ill-fated night, the night Florida lost to LSU. Unforgettable night. Well, how far he has come in such a short period of time. In the first place, he has garnered the respect of his head coach, Steve Spurrier, now. And, of course, his teammates, because for the first time in 3 years, this summer he blew off minor league baseball, stayed on campus, worked out with his buddies. Ron, this is his team now. There's no looking back, no looking over his shoulder. I know the word letdown is not in their vocabulary, but the last thing I heard him say coming out of the locker room was, don't let down.
I think focus is something that everybody wants to keep a close eye on tonight. But the man I just talked about, Ernest Graham, gets the first carry. Jeff Snedeker is there to put the stop on him as we take a look at the Dell starting lineup for the Florida Gators. Johnson with Rob Roberts and Ernest Graham, who just had the carry. The receivers, Kirk Wells gets the start tonight. Aaron Kenny did not make the trip. Willis and Darrell Jackson, the wide receivers. Travis Taylor, of course, is injured. Many people say this is the best offensive line that Spurrier has had since he's been at Florida. We'll see. Cooper Carlisle out of Macomb, Mississippi, was on the inside of guard this year. They moved him out to tackle. The throw on second down. Zings it over the middle, and he's off the mark. Anthony Wadja had the cover. He was looking for Alex Willis, and it's going to be a third down. And here are the starters for the Cats on defense tonight. The down four, Lalo, Haley, Massey, and Johnson. The linebackers, Snedeker, the man who made the first tackle, and he is the leader, playing with some pain, but a very good football player. And in the secondary, The guy that has the most experience in the leader is Eric Kelly. Watched had just made the play, and you can look for the secondary to be tested early and often this evening as there is an injured player down at the 25. And it's Ernest Graham, the running back, who got one carry, and you can see that they are looking at what appears to be a hamstring.
Please report to the police assistance booth behind section.
The man behind him, I would assume it would be Gillespie. As you take a look at him blocking. No, actually, he's going out on the pass play.
He hit his leg.
Yep, he
on
sure
the
did.
defensive lineman on Johnson's leg as he went by.
Dennis Johnson coming off the right defensive end spot. Banged into Graham. And he is still down. He tried to get up.
Well, he looks like in a lot of pain.
It doesn't look like the collision was that hard,
no.
Mike. But you can see that he does not want to put any weight on that side of his body. Adrian will be on that momentarily and get us a report on exactly the injury to Ernest Graham on just the second play of this ball game. Third down for Doug Johnson and company. The line to make is out at the 30. Steps up, drills the ball, has it incomplete as Taylor Jacobs could not hold on, and Wajdu with the cover. And it'll be punting time for the Florida Gators.
Ron Jacobs had the football right in his hands and just dropped the football. Would have been a first down and kept the drive alive, but Kentucky's going to get the football.
Alan Ryan, who is a walk-on, replacing Wazlewski, who only kicked a couple of times last week, is standing back to punt at the 8-yard line, and it's Shanklin who was back on a single safety for the catch. They're coming after him. Line drive, beautiful kick. Shanklin at the 33. And what wonderful coverage downfield. Alexander on the special team is there to make the stop. It's a 40-yard kick and a loss of 1 on the return. So here are the starters for Kentucky. Bonner, the quarterback. Many people say he will break every one of Couch's records before he leaves here. That's putting a lot of pressure on a guy. White and Simon are the running backs. The receivers, we'll see Davis and Pyatt. Blizzard, he's the H-back. We'll use him at fullback. Whalen to tie it in. He'll be active tonight. And up front with the offensive line, Sixbury, for instance. This is a young offensive line. This time last year, Kip Sixbury was playing high school football. Tonight, he's going against one of the top-ranked teams in America. Short drop, but a quick out pass. Did he get in bounds? Yes. Caught by Whalen. I said that he will be a busy person tonight. Mike, they really like to include that tight end in their offense. Very quickly, here are the starters on defense for the Gators. The down for Chambers. Gurley injured last week, but he's playing tonight. Warren, what a return for him, and what a game by Alex Brown. Linebackers, Kelsey Davis and McCaslin. And in the secondary, Alexander Cromartie, only one with experience back there. Manuel and Lester Norwood. Blizzard in motion. They try to go with the reverse, and here it comes. Finally got the ball handed off to McCord, and he is going to be hit and knocked out at the 35 as the defender was there almost to take the handoff.
Well, what happened to Bonner is that a Florida defensive player got in front of the man that he was supposed to give the football to. You're going to watch it coming right around here.
That's Brown.
Brown standing right there getting ready to take the handoff. Quentin McCord got it, picked up a good block, lost about 3 yards.
So it's third down in Kentucky to keep their opening drive going. They need to take it out to the 44. Besky Bonner, sophomore from Valdosta, Georgia. Florida shows blitz. They stay at home, and a pass right over the middle is complete to Whalen, but that's going to be well short of the first down. Andre Davis, the first man to get to him.
Ron, Omar Brown, who's on the side blocking Alex Brown, is really opened up his stance a lot, almost to the penalty area, and to open up and make sure he gets a piece of Alex Brown, number 13.
So 1-2-3 kick for both sides as Andy Smith stands back there. He had an outstanding early part of the season. It's a good pass, and the Gators with a return on. Line drive kick from just inside the 20. Here's Jackson. Jackson bounces off a tackler, and then he gets knocked straight backwards. And let's check in on the sideline with Adrian Carson, and he has a report on Graham. Adrian?
Florida freshman tailback Ernest Graham. Deep thigh bruise on his left thigh. They're going to ice and massage. They're going to remove that thigh board, Ron, which actually he was hit so hard they actually thought that he cracked the thigh board. Believe it or not, they checked it. He did not. So they're going to ice and massage. He's out at least 2 to 3 series, but should continue.
Okay, Adrian, thanks for that very quick report. The interesting thing is Mike and I are looking at the replay up here. We didn't think the collision was that strong, but obviously it was. Right up the middle, this is Gillespie. And Gillespie goes out of the 35, close to the 40. And that is a gain of very nearly 10 yards on the rushing play.
Ron, this is what Florida does very, very well. They'll run the draw and then hit you with a draw pass. They set this up so they attack the linebackers. Here's the block of the fullback. And then Gillespie scoots right through. Now the linebackers, once they start meeting that draw, then they'll throw the draw pass right behind them.
Gillespie, a sophomore out of Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Bo Carroll has joined him in the backfield, number 2. He's a junior. Going to throw in this down low, and he gets it right over the middle, and that's Gillespie out of the backfield, and he's off and running. Breaks 1, now 2 tackled inside the 20, and he's down to the 15-yard line. 47 yards in the play.
Florida's going to pick up a penalty after the play. Yeah, stupid penalty. A receiver running downfield with a late hit. Just depends whether it was after the whistle blew, because it could be a dead ball foul.
Doyle Jackson, the referee tonight. He is the head of the crew.
Preliminary indication.
That was not smart.
Personal foul against Florida.
I thought it was Bo Carroll,
Yeah, it
number
was
2,
Bo
who was
Carroll.
downfield.
You never
Foul
want...
is a dead ball, personal foul against the offense. However, the yardage results in first down.
Here's Gillespie catching the ball out of the backfield. You see Bo Carroll come into your screen.
And the 31.
It's actually off to the right. I'm not sure. Well, we don't.
Yeah, right there. That is it right there. It made the hit. Bo Carroll after the play was blown dead.
So it's a 1st and 10 because of the post-play foul. Instead of 47 yards, that play covers 32. Deep over the middle, in and out of the hands of Alex Willis. Nice defensive play by Waja as he timed his bump right on the mark.
Well, Kentucky's trying to play a 2-deep coverage, and what Florida's going to do is send 4 receivers deep. Alex Willis was open just a little bit. Good coverage by Washington. You can't say anything more. Just knocked the ball away.
Rod Frazier comes into the backfield. He lines up at fullback ahead of Bo Carroll. 2nd down and 10 for the Florida Gators, driving in this first 4 minutes of the ball game. Johnson deep over the middle, got his man complete at the 14-yard line. And this is Caldwell, who is a freshman from Tampa, and a youngster that they really like, and they think he could come into a picture that would be a very big one offensively for the Gators.
Ron, you're right. They need Caldwell because they lose Travis Taylor tonight. He's got Travis Taylor, they're missing him. 1 touchdown for every 3.9 catches he makes, so Caldwell's got to step it up.
Lone setback is Bo Carroll, junior out of Morristown, Pennsylvania. They're spread all over the place. It's Carroll, has 5, has 10, and he will take it all the way to pay dirt. It is the Gators on top, 6-0. 14 yards on the carry.
Come on, when you have 4 fifth-year seniors in the offensive line, you count on them to open up some holes in the running game. When you throw the football as well as Florida does, the running game becomes such a big plus.
Well, the offensive line for Florida averages 297, and the front for the Kentucky defense only 258. And if Florida wants to run the football tonight, with what we've seen on the opening 2 series, Mike, they could shorten this football game by a great deal. Extra point attempt. Chandler up, but it's good, and we'll take a timeout. 10:22 left in this opening quarter. It's Florida 7 and Kentucky nothing. Napping. I don't think so. It looks like a very focused group.
Which Sports Center do you watch? Now at 6 p.m. only on ESPN.
3 years ago, my IT guys told me there'd be two kinds of businesses. Those with a vision to master the internet and those without. And we didn't want to be the second kind. Then Dell came to see us. They showed us how to use the internet for direct relationships with our customers, suppliers, everyone who's a part of our business. With Dell's support, there's no limit to where I can take this company. We always knew we needed the internet. We just didn't know how badly.
Be direct. Dell. Dell servers use Intel Pentium 3 processors.
Multi-valve V6 and the agility of a four-wheel independent suspension.
I didn't know Davis could move like that.
I told him to think of himself as something powerful and agile.
I wonder what he was thinking.
ESPN's presentation of primetime college football is brought to you by Chrysler, engineered to be great cars, and by Embassy Suites, a design for living. Commonwealth Stadium, as we are at dusk here in this northern part of Kentucky. Ron Franklin, Mike Gottfried, and Adrian Karsten. Great to have you along as Bo Carroll. 5 plays, 72 yards. It's a 14-yard run for him as he scores the touchdown, and it is his first touchdown of this young season. Graham had gotten into the end zone 3 times in the early part of the year, but if you have just turned us on, he injured his leg and is doubtful to return for the remainder of the game. As Chandler kicks off, and this one is returnable. Dougie Allen from inside the 10, takes it across the 20, breaks it out 25-30 at the 35-yard line, and they will spot him out at the 37. Vinny Alexander with his second special teams tackle tonight.
Ryan Murphy, the middle linebacker, should have stepped right in the hole and made this play. Right here, the middle linebacker, he should step right here and make this play. Nobody blocks him, but he gets caught up inside somehow. You see, he should have scraped right to the middle linebacker spot there and made that tackle on Bo Carroll, and that should have been a no-gain play.
Nice job by Alexander on the special teams as Kentucky had broken it out to the 38-yard line. 2 tackles for him tonight, one on a punt and the other on a kickoff return there. Bonner, lots of time, dumps it out in the flat, overthrew Anthony White. And I'll tell you, coming after it very quickly was Eugene McCaslin, and that would have been another quick 6 points.
And Ron, number 85, coming across the middle for Kentucky. Whalen, the tight end, just got leveled. And that's what you teach a linebacker. Don't let him come across the middle. Wow. That's what you want out of a linebacker. You don't want those crossing routes. That's Daryl Dixon, number 34, a freshman.
Daryl Dixon, a strong safety who they play tight at the line of scrimmage in many instances. A freshman out of Oak Hill, Florida. 7-0, Gators lead it. About to go under 10 minutes in this opening quarter. And a running play by White. And that one's not going to go for very much as McCaslin is down there along with Marquand Manuel.
And Ron, in this ball game, especially when both teams want to throw and the passes probably tonight could border on 85-90, but it's going to be who runs the football. And Florida's opened up. You mentioned how well their offensive line played playing early, but Kentucky needs to run the ball, take a little pressure off Bonner.
One of the things that Mike Major, the defensive coordinator for Kentucky, talked about. That he thinks that who runs it best tonight will win this football game. Good heavens, what a hit. And coming off that defensive front is Johnson. Marcus Oquendo Johnson, a freshman out of Rockledge, Florida. who plays behind Eugene McCaslin, who came through and knocks down the quarterback. And I'll tell you, they are getting a surge. That was a late blitz on his part.
Both offensive line of Florida and the defensive line of Florida are having their way early in this ball game.
Andy Smith, you can see his average almost 45 yards a kick, as Darrell Jackson is the deep man for Florida again.
And Ron, because Kentucky goes for a lot of fourth downs, you don't get a lot of punt rushes.
I'll tell you what, they're lucky they didn't have a punt rush on there.
That's what happens, though. Nobody wants to go after him because they're afraid of the fakes.
Jackson takes it, and he gets belted out of bounds on the near sideline. And let's check in with Brian Kenny. Brian.
Ron, last two were classics over the last 2 years, Nebraska and Missouri. This time, Nebraska out quickly. Eric Crouch keeps it himself. Now the #1 quarterback for the Cornhuskers. He's all the way in. 16-0 Nebraska up on top. Ron?
Alrighty. Well, the Florida Gators trying to send a statement to the Commonwealth early here tonight. 8 minutes and 32 seconds left to play in this opening quarter. And Mike, let's see if they go back to that same formula of run until you can stop us. Bo Carroll is the tailback. Nope. Quick out pass, and that's going to be off the fingertips of Willis. Just a little too tall, got turned around.
Throwing the fade, Ron. Tried to catch him in too deep coverage and hit the fade, but it looked like Kenneth Grant played it very well against Alex Willis. That may have been a bust because it just didn't come up the right way.
See those defensive guys in the sideline talking things over. And on the near side of the field, the offensive line for Kentucky is doing the same thing. Quick pass, got it right over the middle. The slant complete for 15, 16 yards. Darrell Jackson on the receiving end. And with that kind of speed and quickness, one more step, and that play goes.
Well, every year I see Florida, it seems like these receivers are all cookie cutters. They just all the same size, all the same speed. Darrell Jackson, a junior, looks like explodes, the same kind of speed coming off the ball.
Darrell not only catches the ball, he rushes the ball as well, as Bo Carroll gets the handoff and was being caught by the ankle and tackled by McCree. Marlon McCree, a junior out of Daytona, Florida.
We were talking last night about Doug Johnson, and I really do believe he's in the Heisman hunt. And if they take care of business, Florida, and go through the schedule, Ron, then they're going to meet Florida State in that last game of the year, and at Peter Warwick and Doug Johnson shootout, he could win the Heisman and win the whole thing for Florida.
Well, I'm not sure a lot of people agree with you at this juncture, but as the season goes on, your point's well taken at as many big games as they play. Pressure on Johnson, and he loses his footing. One of the things here, we are at a time of night where there's a little bit of a dew. And I noticed when the teams were warming up, the receivers for Florida were having a little bit of a problem with slipping from time to time. And it looks, you can see that Doug looked as though his feet slipped out from under him.
In this Florida's first away game, Ron, you always have some ideas of what shoes to wear and different equipment changes you want to make.
So here's the situation as we go under 7 minutes in this opening quarter. 7-0 Florida, but they have a third and very long. They need to take it out to the 46-yard line. Great protection. Going to go long downfield. Oh, he had a man wide open. Hagebrook was there, the sophomore out of Wildwood, and whoop, he missed him.
Write that down. In empty backfield, they ran a corner route to Hagebrook. There was nobody there. Number 20, Eric Kelly, squatted on the shorter route. Hagenbrook was wide open. Doug Johnson missed him.
Alan Ryan will kick it away. His second kick, and he averaged or had a kick of 44 his first time out. Shanklin is the deep man for the Wildcats. That's a good one. This one's a line drive. It's returnable. Shanklin from the 28. Heads it up the middle, and that's going to be the end of the way. Florida on both kicks tonight has been exceptional on their coverage. That was Gooch who made the stop. Timeout on the field. We'll be right back.
You're staying in Suite 806. You're feeling pretty good. Maybe it's because you have a living room and a bedroom. Or maybe it's because when you open the door to leave 806, you're met by something other than the door to 807. Embassy Suites, a design for living.
Has this ever happened to you? You're making Aunt Sarah's lasagna, but you forgot her special ingredient. You need her phone number, but you don't even remember her area code. So do the smart thing. Dial 1010-9000 and tell our helpful operators who you want.
Sarah Dobson in Oakland.
They'll find the number and do something you're going to love. They'll dial it for you with no connection charge.
Sure, dial it for me. My hands are kind of full right now.
For directory assistance anywhere in America, dial 1010-9000.
Kick off the NFL season today with DirecTV and Circuit City. When you buy a DirecTV system at Circuit City and subscribe to NFL Sunday Ticket and DirecTV's Total Choice Platinum programming, you'll score 3 free months of Total Choice Platinum and see DirecTV's official program guide, a savings of over $250. With NFL Sunday Ticket on DirecTV, you'll get over 200 regular season games. That's up to 13 games every Sunday. Save today at Circuit City.
Now the tests start for Purdue's Drew Brees. A scary month begins in the Big House.
Purdue, Michigan at noon, next Saturday on ESPN.
Back here in Lexington, Kentucky, the Florida Gators are happy with a 7-0 early lead with 6:35 left in the first quarter. But what they're not happy with is the length of the grass on the field. 3.5 inches, the length of the blades of grass here. One of the signatures of Southeastern Conference is a very short cut to the blades of grass. Spurrier came out, was unhappy because he figured his backs and receivers couldn't cut the corner very well early here in the game.
Okay, Adrian, I was told that one of the members of the coaching staff said, wow, you could have an unplayable Y in this stuff. Quick pass over the middle, got it complete, and that's Davis. Gary Davis, a junior out of Fairborn, Ohio. And, Adrian, one other thing we might ask you while we're talking about that grass, it has gotten a little bit moist and a little slick down there, hasn't it?
Well, it's not just that, Ron. It's the fact that they haven't cut the grass here in 11 days. And I got to tell you very honestly, when I talked to Coach Mummy about it, he actually smiled and said, yeah, well, you know, we need every advantage we can take here.
It's been dry here. It hasn't rained.
You know, I do think in the defense of the people here in the Commonwealth, I don't think that they're trying to pull a funny. Because of watering restrictions, they were afraid if they cut it too low that they might lose it. They didn't want that to happen. Because I could...
Here's Doug Johnson. You talked about a little bit of slippery turf. Went right down. Got a nice rush from the outside. Steve Spurrier wants to get up on this team early. Does not want them to be left around in the fourth quarter.
About to go under 6 minutes left to play in his opening quarter. Mo Carroll with a 14-yard touchdown run. That's the extent of it. And here's the first rushing play for plus yardage tonight. McCaslin will make the stop on Anthony White. Prior to that carry, 3 rushes for -10, but that's good for 11 yards by White.
Ron, when you get a good pass rusher up the field, you take advantage of it because you run right inside of him. All Matt Brown had to do was bump Alex Brown, Anthony White right inside. Good call.
Trying to send a message to get him to stay at home. They cheat up with the linebacker. Now he stays at home, and the pass caught quickly out in the flat by Pyatt. And Pyatt close to the first down as he will take it inside the 40 to around the 38.
Dusty Bonner can frustrate Florida's pass rush by just what we saw. A little quick give to Anthony White, slowing down Alex Brown, and then the short drop. Get rid of the ball quick. Frustrates defensive linemen because they can't get to the quarterback.
Well, you could see his percentage, almost at 70%. You say, wow, that's incredibly high. But they throw a lot of safe passes like that one just now. Shotgun again. White, the only man in the backfield. Blitz up the middle, and Bonner's going to be sacked. Second time that they've gotten to him, and this time it's the strong safety, Manuel.
Ron, they tried to go down the field there and in good coverage and made him hold the football. That made the sack. You know, the first 3 starts, Tim Couch, Dusty Bonner, almost exactly the same statistic-wise. says a lot for Hal Mummy's offense. 12 touchdown passes for Bonner.
Well, I mentioned to you, in walking around this town the last couple of days just visiting with people, they really feel as though he's going to break every record that Couch had here. That's putting a lot of pressure on the young fella, isn't it? Bonner, nice coverage by the Florida secondary, lobs this one, and it is caught by the tight end Whalen. Now incomplete. Couldn't hold on to it.
Out of bounds, Robert Cromartie, and a nice job by James Whalen because he saw Dusty Bonner in trouble, and he took off down the sideline. Just a smart play by both Bonner and Whalen. Yeah, he stepped out of bounds. Good call by the official.
Well, the folks here don't want to agree with that, but he definitely was out of bounds with both feet. It is 4th down, and they will have to punt for the 3rd time tonight.
If they do punt, Ron, Florida's in a punt safe. Again, making sure that they take a lot of gambles on 4th down.
So you talk about playing the punt safe, and what you're saying is this one's off the side of his foot. A lot of times you don't even take your defense off the field.
No,
right?
you play your defense, your regular defense, and you play 4th down like it's 3rd down. You don't care about the punt.
4:12 left, opening quarter. It is Florida 7 and Kentucky nothing. We'll be right back.
We served our first Sonny's barbecue plate in 1968. And now we're celebrating our 31st anniversary with all the barbecue chicken and pork ribs you can eat. Served Sonny's style with French fries, coleslaw, and garlic bread. All you can eat chicken and ribs for just $7.49 at participating Sonny's, where the good old days just keep getting better and better. Yummy.
This fall, I'm looking for something new with the ease of something familiar. Give me style, but let me be comfortable. I need clothes that work whenever, wherever. My fashion has to be real, like my life. I'm looking for one place that has everything I want to wear this fall.
Classic styles, casual comfort. Preview the season's best during Fall Fashion Day, August 29th for 24 hours on the Home Shopping Network.
Now that's what I've been looking for.
Ever since the Broncos got rid of those orange jerseys, they've won the Super Bowl. So I figured new uniforms work for Denver. Why not Buffalo? We'll shape the helmet like a little cup of blue cheese dressing.
This kid could be onto something.
You know, I'm real excited about the brand new 6 p.m. Sports Center. Myself, they don't feel the need to make a lot of changes and shake things up. Take a lesson from the Flintstones, like when they brought that little green guy Kazoo in. What's up with that?
Well, we're back. As you take a look at Alex Brown on the sideline, the individual and personal destroyer of Tennessee last week, and he's off to another very good start here tonight. Although the Kentucky Wildcats have had a couple of plays to try to sucker him, and they have been successful.
Slow him down a little bit.
Yeah.
Let him know there's just some things other than throwing the football in this game.
See total yards now with 100 for Florida. This, by the way, their best starting position of the night. It was stop and go, and he caught it and came down in bounds. Darrell Jackson, nope, say out of bounds.
Ron, anytime Florida sees the blitz, you see Doug Johnson. He moves both backs up. Watch both running backs. They're blocking all the way. Then he tries to throw the fade over here to Darrell Jackson. Eric Kelly, good coverage.
3 of 9 for 81 yards. And consider one of those plays was 47 yards to Bo Carroll. Kentucky showing blitz, but they stay at home. Johnson steps up and delivers, and that ball is tipped, and that's very dangerous. Gillespie, boy, instead of going after it for one hand, either knock it down or don't touch it.
Yeah, quarterback coaches don't want to hang the receivers out like that. Oh, Robert Gillespie, ball over his head. He would have taken a heck of a hit. I don't know if he could have caught it anyway, but Doug Johnson off to a slow start here. Threw the ball well downfield early, Ron.
They are 0 of 2 on third down conversions, and everybody coming to their feet here at the Commonwealth Stadium.
And they led the SEC in third down conversions coming into this game.
Quick pass gets it out in the flat, and that is a nice job as Caldwell, as soon as he catches it, McCree is right there to end the play. Nice job by Marlon McCree, the outside backer.
third in tackles coming into this ball game. He was right on Caldwell. And that's what you want out of this crowd. You want the crowd into the ball game. You want to stop Florida a couple times, get your offense untracked, and you can have a close ball game and a chance to win this game.
There's Shanklin, who is back deep. Coming after Ryan. Beautiful kick. Long hanging spiral will turn over. Fair catch called for at the 25-yard line. Well, coming up tomorrow, week 3 of ESPN Sunday Night Football at 8:15 Eastern, the New York Giants take on Drew Bledsoe, the New England Patriots. Then at ABC Monday Night Football, Steve Young leads San Francisco into Arizona to face the Cardinals. ESPN at ABC, your exclusive home for prime-time NFL football. Al Mummy's Ball Club will scrimmage from their own 25-yard line. Dusty Bonner. Quickly gets the ball away at the 28. That's Dougie Allen. Stays inbounds, and the tackle made Darrell Dixon one of the first men out there to make the stop. And it's going to be a gain of about 6, I believe, on the play.
Ron, Dougie Allen had 6 catches at Indiana last week. Played a very good football game against the Indiana team. Good throw by Dusty Bonner. Good on-time throw. Well, some of the second unit guys have been down 4 for Florida in the ball game now. You can see number 11, Thaddeus Bullard. Bottom of your screen is right defensive end, replacing Alex Brown. There's a quick pass in the flat. Allen again makes the reception, and that'll move the chains. I believe he is right at the mark. Cromartie bumped him out. And Ron, what that does, when you throw the ball that quickly, it opens up the deep ball a little later, because all of a sudden you're going to watch Robert Cromartie, number 25, come up quick. And that sets him up for a little pump and go a little later on in the ball game.
So that is good for the Kentucky first down, and they move the sticks. Line of scrimmage just across the 35. Receivers all over the place. Bonner steps up, gets it out to White into the backfield, and he will be tackled, knocked out of bounds around the 44. They just keep chipping away.
Ron, what's happening now? Dusty Bonner, you watch him. And what he's doing is he sets his offense. He gets the formation. He looks to the sideline now to Hal Mumme. He's waiting for the call from the sideline. He wants the coaches to look at the defensive secondary coverage that Florida's going to be in, and then he'll give him the call. They're waiting until Florida sets it up. Now he looks over. They make the call. Right now, Dusty Bonner has it. He gives it to his football team.
He's 7 of 9 for 47 yards. Gets this one away quickly. Has it complete again. And that will be enough for the Kentucky first down as Harrison is on the receiving end. Adrian, what do you have for us?
Hal Mumme got his first look at Dusty Bonner when Dusty was in 8th grade, as a matter of fact, Ron, when Hal was hosting his football camps down in Valdosta, Georgia, which is where Dusty went to school. I'm going to finish the report right after this quick snap here, Ron.
Okay, I'll tell you, he's rushing it back to the line of scrimmage, trying to catch Florida in transition, and look who makes the sack. Thaddeus Bullard, who is replacing Alex Brown, coming off that corner, and now a flag.
Going to get a face mask, I believe. Thaddeus Bullard's going to come around Matt Brown.
Was an inadvertent 5-yard face mask by the defense, 5 yards from the previous spot, still first down.
Well, the killer thing about that is they had sacked him for about a 10-yard loss, so it comes from the previous spot. So the penalty's only 5 yards, but Mike, they're almost 15 yards farther down.
Without a doubt.
Alex Brown, number 13, checks back in at right end, and now movement on the Kentucky front.
Sixbury, the left guard, number 66.
Yeah, I mentioned this time last year, Sixbury was playing high school football, and I can promise you that up where he comes from, that he didn't see any defensive linemen like
that
this.
That was a dead ball. False start. by the offense, 5 yards from the previous spot, still first down.
I can guarantee you that's true. If he did, they're probably playing in the pros right now. Just leave college and go. But he's got Moody on him, a roll on him, number 65. The backup defensive lineman, Gerald Warren's on him now.
Again, Kentucky going for that customary shotgun formation. They'll run out of it. And White may have about 3 yards. Andre Davis, sophomore out of Live Oak, is there to make the stop. Adrian, let's go back to you and let you finish up on your point.
Yeah, Hell claims that that his quarterback does not have Tim Couch's athletic skills or playmaking ability. The point is, we're just going to let Dusty be Dusty, but he's very vehement about the fact, Ron, even though Tim has departed, we're not changing anything about the offense. I believe in the system, and Dusty can do it.
All righty, well, they do have a lot of faith in him. There's that screen thrown back toward the middle. Harry Davis on the receiving end, and they will make the tackle at around the 44-yard line.
See who made that tackle, Ron? Alex Brown. Hustling to the football. Now, he didn't start. You realize the game he had against Tennessee, the great job. He didn't start the Western Michigan game because John Hoke, the defensive coordinator, sent him a message, said, you're not playing hard enough. Well, he got the message. Believe me, he has played hard.
And the sad thing is he has dispensed that message to other teams since then. Oh, my goodness. Third down, and the line to make is down at the 38-yard line. Kentucky trails 7-0. Under heavy pressure, and Brown's going to get it. Alex Brown has just had a sensational 2 weeks. 3 times they have gotten to Dusty Bonner in this opening quarter alone, and Bonner is shaken up.
Yeah, versus Tennessee, Ron, he had 5 sacks, a forced fumble, an interception, 2 deflections. He's blocked by Matt Brown, but he never gives up, and Brown really helped him. He pushed him into the quarterback.
Yeah, he did. Actually, Brown had done a good job, and it had taken... He had enough time to get the pass away, so that is a coverage sack as we come to the end of the first quarter. And we'll check on Bonner on the sideline as he is limping. That's the end of the first 15. Timeout on the field with our score 4-7, and the Kentucky Wildcats nothing.
State Farm presents Rules of the Game.
One of the most important responsibilities of the referee is to protect the quarterback. In this play, a defender roughs the passer. What's the penalty?
I do kitchens, I do bathrooms, I do family rooms. I do not do insurance. I want to be treated like I feel I treat my clients. I want to be treated like I am their only client. Michelle Duthman treats me the same way I want to be treated. I have my cars, all of my household. I need somebody that I can get advice from. I know that when I need them the most, they're going to be there.
Get to know your State Farm agent.
It's a great relationship.
One of the most important responsibilities of the referee is to protect the quarterback. In this play, a defender roughs the passer. 15-yard penalty following the result of the play.
Rules of the Game has been brought to you by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Of the Pentium 3 processor. Let's just get onto the internet, get into it at Intel.com.
Here at Sonic, we're known as Car Hops. Lifesavers is more like it. Hi, here's your order. Great. Sonic floats and slurry drinks to the rescue. Get them now for only 99 cents each. We can turn any drink or slush into an old-fashioned float, or blend it into a cool, one-of-a-kind Sonic slurry drink. Everybody happy? Everything...
Great. Thanks.
Flavor Flash, try our awesome steak sandwich with some handmade onion rings.
The Flying Mile. Race fans gather at Daytona's Flying Mile.
Winning Daytona shows that the 300 is a spirited, full-blooded automobile.
Chrysler 300M, born like its ancestors with the most horsepower in its class.
She's a regular firecracker.
And now, Motor Trend 1999 Car of the Year. Lease the Chrysler 300M for $369 a month.
That's a good look at Dusty Bonner on the sideline. And Mike, while we were at the timeout for the quarter break, Skippy On, the backup quarterback who has not played this year, was loosening up. So we'll wait and see if Bonner comes back out in their next offensive series. Right now, I would doubt it. Here's the kick, and this is his best one of the night. Good high coverage kick, and the spiral turns over at the 11-yard line. Bo Carroll secures it, but that is a 45-yard kick. And Adrian, what do you have on an injury situation?
A mild sprain is what they're telling me, Ron, to the right foot, not ankle, but foot of Dusty Bonner, the aggravation of an injury he originally suffered in the Louisville game. The significant thing here, Ron and Mike, is that it's his plant foot. When he goes back to throw, he's going to plant that right foot. It's very tender. He's hobbling here on the sidelines as I speak.
So we'll just have to wait until the next offensive series to see if Hal Mumme elects to go with his young quarterback or make the substitution. Meanwhile, Florida scrimmages from inside their own 15, but they come with a running play, and it goes for 5, 10, and now out to 12 yards as Bo Carroll will be given officially, they tell us, 13 yards on the run from scrimmage. And I'll tell you, if the mentioned by Mike Major, whoever runs best is going to win this ball game, not going to take long to tell.
No, Ron, they did a nice job. Well, Steve Spurrier traded his tight end, which means he lined up on one side, the other side, then he moves over the other side. Kentucky didn't adjust.
Carroll again runs into big number 97, George Massey, a senior out of Lynch, Kentucky. And that one will be it's going to be a gain of about 5 yards.
See, the mindset of Steve Spurrier right now is, I got better players in Kentucky. Now, I've fiddled around and thrown the ball all over the place, and I haven't been on, so I'm going to knock him off the ball here for a while. And that's what he did here in the first 2 plays. That'll set up the pass. That'll open it up a little bit more for Doug Johnson.
Well, Bo Carroll is averaging 9 yards a carry. He's got 4 for a total of 35. Actually, yeah, just under 9 yards per try as they split Carroll out of the backfield way toward the sideline.
25 seconds. Took a little too long for all those movements.
Foul is a dead ball. Delay of game by the offense. 5 yards from the previous spot. Still second down.
Steve's upset because he had a good play called. He believes in his mind, and he shows that formation, but they're a little too slow.
Well, coming into this ball game, they were tied for second worst in the SEC in penalties. And I know that is one of the things that Coach Spurrier talked about the other day on our phone conversation, that he's not real happy about being next to the bottom in that category. Cable turns the corner, going to have the first down regardless of the penalty, and he add on about 5 more yards after that. He's all the way out to the 40. And let's check in again with Brian Kenny. Brian?
Ron, the Pac-10, Arizona, Washington State. 5 seconds left, tied up at 24. Arizona on the Washington State 42. Keith Smith in the air. Hail Mary. Bobby Wade brings it down. Game. 30-24 Arizona over Washington State. 12 straight losses for Washington State. Ron?
Well, what a strange year for Arizona this year. They start off, they get kicked by Penn State. But anyway, Johnson under pressure here, and he just throws this one away very, very wisely. Bo Carroll was the closest man to it.
Ron, we started this game off, and you made a statement about a letdown. We talked to Steve Spurrier, and he said that's not in our vocabulary. But I'm telling you, it's tough when your players go to the cafeteria, the classroom, in their rooms at night, and everybody's talking about Tennessee, and all of a sudden Tennessee had the same problem today.
That's
they were
right.
still talking. They were still playing a Florida game.
Well, like I said, a little bit of a hangover.
Yeah, I've never had one of those, but I don't know what you mean. But I just think this ball club's just not operating on all cylinders right now.
Capold's going to take it up close to midfield, and right now, every time they get the ball upfield, Florida is gaining close to 10 yards per try.
Yeah, they offensively, they can really choose to do whatever they want. They stop themselves every now and then. Kentucky, with a blitzing style of defense, is forcing them into some bad plays. But what they need to do is get up by 2 scores and force Kentucky to play a little bit more downfield.
6 of their 19 snaps they have gained 10 yards or better. Carroll, and this one's going to be one of those rare situations where he will only pick up about 1, but the good news is he got the Florida first down. Wajda comes up out of the secondary.
Well, Bo Carroll, when he came into this ball game, is averaging 7 yards a carry. He's not hurting himself tonight either. And Ron, a statistic, it's unbelievable. Since 1990, when Florida outrushes the opponent, they're 75-1. So everybody thinks Steve Spurrier, throw it, throw it, throw it. He's not. It's a mirage. He likes to run the football.
Carroll tonight, 5 tries, 37 yards. They do move the chains as the clock shows 12:30 left until halftime, and Florida goes on top, got a man wide open at the 10, at the 5. Jackson, touchdown from 49 yards away.
See, Ron, that's what happens when you run the ball and you gash a defense. And all of a sudden you get this corners on an island because they're trying to get an extra safety in to stop the run. Next thing you know, Darrell Jackson, they faked the draw again. Darrell Jackson just ran by Eric Kelly for the touchdown. Doug Johnson led him perfectly.
Chandler with the extra point attempt, trying to put Florida out 14-0. And all of a sudden, this capacity house at Commonwealth Stadium has gotten kind of quiet. We will take a break. 12:23 left until halftime at our new score. The Gators 14 and the Wildcats nothing. We'll be right back.
NFL Tonight, Tuesday through Saturday on ESPN2.
What will it take to build this company?
To get ready for prime time on the web.
How can we do everything a little faster? Okay, a lot faster.
When they're looking for answers, more CIOs, more webmasters, more people, look to Compaq than to any other computer company in the world.
Limits? What limits?
Compaq. Better answers.
Remember life in the fast lane? I know. First you meet, then you get married, and things slowed down.
Yeah, right.
To help you keep up, drive the supercharged Regal GS Sports Sedan. Plenty of room, standard traction control, and the most power in its class. Get up to $35.67 average finance savings with 1.9% APR financing for 60 months on 1999 Regals. Official car of the supercharged family.
You know, you can't accept less from life, because then you'll accept less from your work, then you'll accept less from your weekends, and the next thing you know, you'll accept less from your beer. And you just can't accept less from your beer, because then you'll start accepting less from guys who install satellite dishes, and you might lose reception during an important football game, and hey, that's just wrong. Ice brewed so there's never any watered down taste. Ice House. Enjoy.
ESPN's presentation of primetime college football is brought to you by the new Regal GS by Buick, official car of the supercharged family, and by Ice House. Out here, our world is beer. A little bit of a breeze tonight, but nothing that is affecting this football game, and certainly not affecting the Florida Gators. 14-0 as they draw focus a little closer on that offensive drive and take it down to score in the long pass play to Jackson. And this goes right over Sims' head and out of the back of the end zone, so they'll take it at the 20. Well, coming up on Thursday on ESPN, from the ACC, undefeated Maryland comes off a shutout of West Virginia, takes on Joe Hamilton and the 12th-ranked Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Coverage begins at 7:30 Eastern with Thursday game night. For more, log into ESPN.com, part of the Go Network, go.com.
Ron, Florida doing a good job of substituting defensive linemen. You talked about it earlier. Now, Thaddeus Bullard's in the game. Bonner's back in.
So obviously he was just stunned a little bit, and he is being caught from behind, throws that one errantly, but he's just trying to get out of harm's way is Lee Wesley, the intended receiver. Adrian, what do you have for us?
Well, Ron, very honestly, I think his teammates talked Dusty Bonner going back into the game. He was out for about 4 or 5 minutes during that last defensive series by Kentucky, which I think helped him, the extra time on the sidelines. He's got a new pair of shoes on, softer sole with Velcro over the top. He didn't want to tape that right foot. He just wanted to snug it up with the Velcro.
Dusty's got a new pair of shoes, huh, Adrian? Sounds like a song.
Pumps it once, going to go on top, but nobody did, and in fact, it's going to be intercepted by number 30, Vinny Alexander. So Alexander, with a really outstanding first half, he's got a couple of tackles on the special teams, and now he comes up with an interception, giving him great field position.
Now, Ron, that didn't look like Dusty Bonner there. Now, I don't know if he's hurt or Adrian's report that the players talked him into going back in there, whatever happened, but that was a bad throw. Trying to throw the ball to Gary Davis. He just throws it downfield. And Benny Alexander sitting there, and John Hoke, the defensive coordinator, said he's played the best football the first 3 weeks than anybody on the secondary. But that's just a poorly thrown football.
Any one of two people could have intercepted that, as Gillespie comes in at tailback, replacing Carroll, number 20. Johnson back into the short side of the field, caught it, dropped it, and regained possession.
He'd like to drop that one.
Yeah, he should have. He's going to lose about 3.
But going back to Dusty Bonner, that just was not a throw that I've seen him in the first couple weeks of the season make.
Loss of 2. Ball at the 31.
Alexander on the sideline, and you see the smile on his face. No smiles over here, though, because Bonner knows that with that interception, that all of a sudden his football team could be looking at a 21-0 deficit.
Yeah, he needs a big play out of his defense.
Here's a running play, 5 yards, 10 yards. Gillespie off and running. He is all the way down inside the 10-yard line. Snedeker finally makes the tackle. It's first and goal for the Florida Gators.
Just like opening a can with a can opener, and that's what's happening with the offensive line of Florida. Anytime they want to, they're just blocking, and nobody from Kentucky's getting off a block. You see them all getting blocked. Nobody gets off, and then a poor angle by Wajda to make the tackle. So it's a defense right now, Ron, catching people, not getting off blocks.
First and goal from the 9-yard line, 10:58, and the clock is running. That's what we have left until intermission. Johnson wants to swing it out and very wisely throws it away, and then, boy, he caught it. He really got hit hard by one of those defensive linemen.
Boy, a nice play by Chris Demery, number 51. He just read that play from start. Doug Johnson had no place to go with the ball. Demery was all over the receiver. Demery's going to take Gillespie out of the backfield. Doug Johnson wisely just threw it up in the seats.
Gordon Crow in there also, number 95. Gordon is a senior.
Sides by the defense. The penalty is half the distance to the goal. Still first down.
You know, when the rains, it pours. You make mistakes, you're offside, you stop them, and then you're offside.
This takes it to the 4.5-yard line, and Coach Mumme will be the first one to say at halftime, hey, guys, they don't need any help. First and goal, there's Gillespie. Goes at right guard. Going to have about 1.5 yards. George Massey down on the bottom of the pile.
Both Gillespie and Bo Carroll, Ron. Ernest Graham gets hurt early. They get a lot of chances to run the ball. We were looking forward to seeing Graham tonight.
Well, you know, they've got a fourth one as well, a freshman out of Albany, Georgia, Chuck Marks, number 22. Now, are they planning on redshirting him, or what's the situation going to be? Do you know?
Only one football. He's not going to get on this field.
Well, other coaches who scouted and watched him, think he's going to be awfully good as well. Gillespie dances at the 1, and he will score. The Florida Gators with a very convincing 3-touchdown onslaught, and we still have a lot of time to play in this first half.
Well, they're just knocking them off the ball and running the ball at will. Robert Gillespie.
Running at Will and Jimmy and George and Ryan.
Mike,
they're running.
all of them, yeah.
Chandler with the extra point attempt, and he's got it. So 9:57 left until halftime, and we will go away for 60 seconds. It has been all Gators so far.
Hey, did you see my game-winning catch? Unbelievable. Yeah, triple overtime. But with 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls, it's a low rate, no matter when I need a ride home. Whoa! Dial down the middle. 1-800-CALLATT.
For a low rate every minute, everywhere, dial 1-800-CALL-ATT.
Hey, kid, catch. Gee, thanks, ATT, man.
To purchase this official jersey, visit callatt.com. Remember life in the fast lane? First you meet, then you get married, and things slow down.
Yeah, right.
To help you keep up, drive the supercharged Regal GS Sport Sedan. Plenty of room, standard traction control, and the most power in its class. Get up to $35.67 average finance savings with 1.9% APR financing for 60 months on 1999 Regals. Official car of the supercharged family.
I do kitchens, I do bathrooms, I do family rooms. I do not do insurance. I want to be treated like I feel I treat my clients. I want to be treated like I am their only client. Michelle Duthman treats me the same way I want to be treated. I have my cars, all of my household. I need somebody that I can get advice from. I know that when I need them the most, they're going to be there.
Get to know your State Farm agent.
It's a great relationship.
Can the Maryland defense slow down one of the most exciting quarterbacks in college football, in Joe Hamilton?
Maryland, Georgia Tech at 8, Thursday on ESPN.
Well, we're back 21-0. The Florida Gators, the third-ranked team in America. And, Mike, this backs up the numbers you're talking about. Carroll, 5 for 37 yards. Gillespie, 4 for 35. Not only are they doing well, their averages are like 9 yards a try.
Yeah, their offensive line's taking this game over. 80 yards rushing versus Kentucky's -15. Kentucky helped them a little bit there with the interception, but now it looks like Florida's got untracked, and now they want to put damage on Kentucky.
Well, damage control had better be well prepared, because this thing could get totally out of hand, if not a little bit already. From the 4-yard line, Shanklin. He's open, 30, 35, out across the 40, still on his feet. Stepped out of bounds just across midfield. That is a wonderful effort by Kendrick Shanklin, the sophomore out of Baton Rouge. It's a 50-yard return.
And that's what Kentucky needs right there, a big play on special teams to give them field position, Ron, to make it a shorter field for them. Kendrick Shanklin restarts up the middle, sets up the rush of Florida, and then gets good blocking downfield.
So the ball just across midfield, just short of the Florida 47-yard line. Cats need something here quickly. They keep it on the ground. Big opening for Homer, and he is going to take it for the first down all the way to the 32-yard line.
Well, Derek Homer was waiting his chance to get in and play, and he just knocked off the safety of Florida and just ran over him. 5'11", 196-pound junior, pretty impressive running back. Gets to play, and we talked about rushing yardage so much in favor. Wow, he just ran over the safety. Daryl Dixon.
This is the deepest penetration of the night by Kentucky. Well, nothing doing this time. He gets flipped at the line of scrimmage by Davis. Interesting, coming into this ball game, he'd only carried the ball 17 times for 44 yards for an average of hardly 2 yards per try. But he showed what he could do when you give him a little bit of a hole.
Yeah, with throwing the football as much as Kentucky does, Anthony White's usually the running back. He's caught 20 or 25 games of consecutive pass. And
look at that long run, brought him back to 0, Mike. Short drop, got that pass off the mark. He wanted Pyatt.
Gerald Warren. big money. Defensive lineman got upfield there, and I don't know if he tipped that ball or he just got in the throwing lane of Dusty Bonner.
They were very glad to get him back.
Suspended the first 2 weeks. He gives you a push up inside.
As big as he is at 6'4", 300, that's a pretty good push. Only a sophomore out of Rayford. Hit into backfield and knocked down for a 2, maybe 3-yard loss. Manuel hits Homer, and there's nothing poetic about this if you're a Kentucky fan. I mean, that's just headed the wrong way.
Now, Ron, Hal Mumme usually likes to go for it on 4th down. Going to take his shot right here on the 35-yard line.
So the situation, they need to take it down to the 22-yard line. It is 4th down. And if my recollection is right, first time it had gone for a 4th down play tonight. Bonner steps up into the pocket, drills it, has it in and out of the hands of Whalen. Oh, my goodness. Had the first down, and he had it in his hands.
James Whalen came in tonight with 25 pass receptions. They had him right where they wanted him against the strong safety of Florida, but he couldn't hold on.
Leading receiver for these Wildcats.
Former walk-on. This comes clear across the middle. Ball thrown by Bonner right on the money. The linebacker, Andre Davis, had him in coverage.
Nope, it did. It hit him right in the hands, and he dropped it. Bo Carroll, the setback this time, and they give it to him. Bounces off one tackler, fights his way out to around the 37-yard line. Massey defensively is there.
You gotta get it down! Hey, get it down!
Florida trying to get after their defense a little bit and keep them in the ball game. John Hope, our defensive coordinator, came over from Missouri, replaced Bob Stoops. He was concerned about his ball club. He said, our defense, he said, they don't have any fire against Western Michigan, Central Florida. Bobby Stoops, he called him on the phone, said, what's up with this? And he said, wait till the Tennessee game. He said, you'll see all the fire you want to see.
Well, he did, and he said, last week, folks, I did. I saw a different group of kids. Got that pass complete at the 42 to Jackson, and then Jackson just a little one-on-one athleticism. And Brian Kenny, let's check with you.
Ron, let's go to Marshall and Temple. Marshall averaging 37 points a game. They're going to get something here. Doug Chapman gets the ball from Chad Pennington. He's rolling in easily up and over the top. 14 yards and 14-0. Marshall with the lead. Back to Ron and Mike.
Ron, their big game is next week. Marshall's got Miami of Ohio. That'll decide. A lot of people think that'll decide the Mid-American. Miami's a good football team. Got Prentice, the running back, Pennington, Marshall. Going to be a big ball game next week in the MAC.
3rd down, and Florida wants a timeout. And in fact, the trainers are coming on. There was a shaken-up player, and I think it's Jackson, who had to come out of the huddle. I don't know if he got his bell rung or what, but the rest of the team is saying, let's get a timeout called here. We got it to spare. And we'll check more on him when we come back. Timeout on the field with Florida on top, 21-0.
If you find the idea of getting a satellite system appealing but confusing, you're not alone. That's why more than 100,000 people have already called to order this, the Practical Guide to Choosing a Satellite System. It's filled with helpful information comparing all the different dish systems. To get your free copy, call the Satellite Entertainment Information Center toll-free at 1-888-DISH-HELP. The call is free. The information is free. So call now. You'll be glad you did.
Now that this is a relationship, I should tell you. I have caller ID, and you're a hanger-upper. I know this because every time you call, it saves your name and number. And that's okay. I mean, it means that you're thinking of me, and you're thinking of me a lot. Did you ring doorbells and run as a kid?
Sprint caller ID. Get it for yourself. We'll even give you the display unit for free. Call 1-877-1-SOLUTION.
I talk a lot of trash.
I'm talking about a trash. This bum go over 5 rounds. I won't return to the United States for 30 days. Ali talk trash.
Well, all these big-mouth people here in Miami talking about I talk too much and this one's gonna whoop me. Well, I want all of them to be there.
He invented trash.
Yeah, I wish him a happy new year because he's gonna need happiness after I annihilate him.
But he can back it up, too.
I must be the greatest.
You've got to call 1-800-CLASSIC to get ESPN Classic.
So we're back as they take Gerald Jackson to the locker room. Mike, when he got hit at the end of the play, not to gross anybody out, but after this hit right here, he walked back over, and the reason he didn't go to the huddle, he was looking for a tooth or teeth because he walked over and picked them up out of the grass, and then he was helped to the sideline. So he's bleeding badly from the mouth. We'll get more of a report in a second as the running play, and Capel is going to take it inside the 45 to the 42.
Ronnie got a nice block by Alex Willis, the tight end. 80 sealed everything inside and let Capel get the first down.
Gain of 17 on the play.
17-yard gain.
Florida at the Kentucky 41.
They're running at will at the Kentucky defense.
Florida has lost yardage just once in 30 plays tonight. They have 9 plays that have gained 10 yards or better.
This is going to be an equipment on number 17, Caldwell.
Timeouts. Florida. Illegal equipment.
The same thing happened last year at Baton Rouge in the game, and you see him pushing those pants down below his knees, and that's the reason it is a charge timeout to your team if you have illegal equipment, and that's what he was called with. We'll go away for 60 seconds. We'll be right back.
Get them a Gateway Portable for college, so wherever they are, they could be out studying. The Solo 2500 is a PC World Best Buy. Get one with an Intel Celeron processor for $48 a month. Call 1-800-GATEWAY.
It must rain 9 to 10 inches for every Laura Ashley peony to bloom. It must be perpetually misty for hedgerows to turn true green. It must be cloudy and damp for a garden rose to flourish. Aren't you glad you don't have to live in England to enjoy the countryside? Laura Ashley Home, now only as far away as Lowe's.
Need brakes? Now during the Midas $40 lifetime brakes rebate, save $20 per axle or $40 for your whole car. Lifetime guaranteed $40 in savings right now. Go safely. Go Midas.
Tonight, we had the perfect meal for us. The Olive Garden's never-ending pasta bowl. You pick any of their special pastas, and you get all the free refills you want, plus all the salad and breadsticks for $6.95. Good thing I was born hungry. The Olive Garden. When you're here, you're family.
Okay. 6:20 left until halftime, 21-0 Florida. Mike, you can never have too much depth because that's Travis Taylor, the outstanding wide receiver from Jacksonville, on crutches, obviously not going to play for several weeks. And now Darrell Jackson goes to the locker room having, we know, one tooth knocked out, if not more, bleeding from the mouth. So they're going to have to dig a little deeper in reserves.
Well, John Capel just really gave him a great play. So they've got depth.
Well, Capel's going to get an opportunity tonight, the sophomore, but they'll go with the running play in Gillespie to the 41-yard line, which is around the old line of scrimmage, and Murphy is there to make the stop for Kentucky.
Ole Miss Auburn scored today. That was a good ball game. We watched it.
David Cutcliffe, 2 weeks in a row, has to go to overtime. He loses last week to Vanderbilt, wins it today.
Break up Hawaii. They've won 3 in a row.
You know they have. They got all those islands out there. Well, they faked the reverse. Now here comes the pass to the near sideline and got it complete to Gillespie out of the backfield. That's going to be good for one as McCree is there, and he'll make the tackle. Now they got to take this thing to about the 31.5 to keep it going.
Yeah, Marlon McCree is right there. He's played an excellent first half. He's been effective in the running game. Done a very good job in the secondary.
Well, McCree had a total of 19 tackles, 3 for a loss coming into this ball game tonight. Johnson sets deep in the pocket, drills it over the middle, has it complete, and there is Willis. Alex Willis on the receiving end. Alex, a junior out of Jacksonville, tackled by Eric Kelly, but it's good for 15 yards, and it'll move the chains.
Run. Florida, under Steve Spurrier, does some nice things. They keep the tight end in the backside, get max protection. Nobody gets close to Doug Johnson. You got 3 receivers to the top of the screen. They're working routes out. Alex Willis got time to get open. Just a nice play call by Steve Spurrier.
Gillespie off the right side, skips by a couple, going to have a gain of 10, headed for 15, and they'll say he steps out of bounds after Kelly pushed him out. And they're going to mark that thing at around the 8-yard line. Kalich with an outstanding block, number 51.
Well, you can forget letdown. Steve Spurrier talked about that. He said, I've reminded my players, one year we beat Tennessee and then lost to LSU. We had that ball game and then
lost to Georgia.
Got creamed by Georgia. And he said, we're not as mighty as we think. So he got the message across to his ball club, it appears, this week.
That's a good thing that Hoggebrook got up there on the line of scrimmage, because they would not have had a legal formation. You could see that Capel instructed him to get up on the line, throws to fade, and he will have the touchdown. Hoggebrook, the young man I was just talking about, they throw the fade to him in the corner of the end zone, and it is now 27-0.
Ron, they made a signal. Doug Johnson hit his left thigh pad. The receivers then passed it on to Hoggebrook. He knew he had the fade against Kenneth Grant, and you can't throw the fade any better than Doug Johnson just threw that pass. More and more I see quarterbacks doing a great job at the line of scrimmage in college football.
Well, this record crowd tonight at Commonwealth Stadium is very, very quiet right now as Chandler knocks home the 28th point of this first half, and with 4:33 left until intermission, the Florida Gators have taken a commanding 4-touchdown lead over the Wildcats.
Ladies and gentlemen, UK Athletics Association would like to thank...
Here's what I was talking about. Doug Johnson to slap his thigh pad, then the receivers pass it on. Hoggebrook has the fade, does a nice job, gets separation from Kenneth Grant, ball's over his shoulder, makes the catch for the touchdown.
Well, it's textbook, isn't it?
Oh, it's perfect. Got turned a little bit, good concentration on with the eyes and catching the football.
Well, coming up on Friday, the season premiere of ESPN's National Hockey Night as the 1999 NHL regular season gets underway. At 7:30 Eastern, it's the Pittsburgh Penguins taking on the Stanley Cup champion Dallas Stars. That's at 7:30 Eastern. And for more, log on to ESPN.com, part of the Go Network, Go.com. You know, someone who deserves an assist on the play is Capel, because he looked out and saw that Hoggebrook was not on the line of scrimmage, which would have only given him 6 people. That would have been flagged.
He moved him up. Smart play. Doug Johnson, Ron, has really come along. Stayed there this summer in Gainesville. Steve Spurrier said he gained the respect of his teammates.
And it's going to go well over his head. Chandler kicks that thing about 8 yards deep into the end zone, then it goes out the back. To you, Mike, as they reset the thing on the 20, what is the greatest difference, though? Is it composure? Is it maturity?
I think the fact that he's on the field now, Jesse Palmer's behind him. He knows he's the starter. He ran all the summer practices with all the receivers. He's the man right now. He knows he's not coming out. He's not getting a quick hook. Steve Spurrier believes in him. He said the bar, Steve was saying the measuring stick for quarterbacks at Florida is pretty high, but that Johnson has earned the respect of his teammates, and he doesn't flinch in the pocket.
Bonner rolls the pocket ahead. He's got a gimpy foot. You can see him limping, and that, when he waited so long, almost picked off by Florida at the 25.
I agree with you. He's not the same quarterback in this since the time he took the hit. He threw that ball in a great break by Robert Cromartie, the corner. He should have intercepted that one.
He just stared him down. Now watch the limp.
Doesn't look like he's full speed right here. Waits too long to throw the ball. Cromartie breaks, Should have had a pick.
So it stops the clock at 4:18 remaining until halftime. And the Florida Gators with a commanding 28-0 lead. Under pressure, dumps it off out of the backfield to Homer. And Homer hurdles a guy at the 20-yard line, went right over the top of Cromartie, and will wind up picking up 4 more yards.
Ron, you talked about this Florida defense in our meeting last night, Eugene McCaslin.
I like him.
You know, the fact that he was a running back, and they switched him to linebacker. He was a linebacker in the high school. He was a defensive player in high school, but he was the second leading rusher 2 years ago as a running back. So to make that change, they know the athletes that they have. They can take the running back, make him a linebacker, and he came up big against Tennessee also.
They're down at 6. The pressure is there, and they get this one to Dougie Allen, and he will have the Kentucky first down. The interesting thing about this is Bonner throws one of the few completions he's made since he re-injured that foot is with a guy like McCaslin. Although he was a defensive player in high school, Mike, I still think that is a reverse as far as the trend.
Mentality-wise. Yeah, because you're an offensive player. He catches the ball last year against the Bulldogs.
And see, he's a big guy who can run well. That one is caught by Whalen, the tight end. That's a much tougher catch than the first or the fourth down pass that he dropped a while ago.
I guess the biggest thing about McCaslin is he wanted to make the switch. You know, his heart is in getting on the field and doing what's best for the Florida Gators, and that's what Steve Spurrier has been able to do with his entire ball club. They have one goal: win the national championship, win the SEC. So whatever it takes. If I need to be on defense, I need to be on defense.
Bonner 9 of 11 for 57 yards. Boy, lots of time. And he throws Abbott away. Let me complete what I was saying. Before the injury, he was 9 of 11 for 57 yards. And since he injured that foot again, 3 of 9 with 1 interception for a total of 15 yards.
Good coverage downfield, Ron. Exactly what you're talking about. Since that injury, he has not been the same quarterback. Throws this one in the dirt, trying to get the ball to Gary Davis. But at halftime, I'm sure Hal Mumme will take a good look at him and try to see what he needs to do, what he needs to change in the second half.
Well, here comes the blitz, and they throw the ball complete over the middle. Allen breaks the tackle. There is a flag down back where the quarterback was knocked down.
I think that's roughing the passer.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Florida Gators.
And Daryl Dixon had a chance to make the tackle on Dougie Allen. We're going to first see Dusty Bonner throw the football, and then there's the hit by Manuel.
And of course, this comes at the end of the play. Penalty pushes it down to the 33 of Florida. So the crowd coming to life. They want to see the Cats get on the board. They're down by 4 touchdowns with 2:50 showing until halftime.
And they have all their timeouts left. Kentucky, 3 timeouts.
Bonner, pressure is there, gets away. That's Warren in pursuit, and you can see big number 61 was coming after him pell-mell. Manuel finally pushes him out of bounds.
Ron, on that play, Gerald Warren knocked the guard back into Dusty Bonner. He just picked him up, took him back to the quarterback, and that forced Dusty Bonner to run the football. We talk about a push now. We talked about 6'4", 300 pounds.
It looked like Whalen came out of his stance, but they throw complete to him, and he will take it to the 28-yard line, and now they're going to call a late hit. I think it's on Alexander, or what?
Johnson, maybe.
Quinto Johnson may be the guy that they call it on. And let's check in with Brian Kenny. Brian?
All right, Ron, coming up at the half, we have a couple of games going down to the last play, some Hail Mary plays. Kansas State in a big battle with the Cyclones. We'll have highlights of that. And we're talking about the Vols almost going down to Memphis. Highlights on the Buick halftime report. Rod Gilmore will join me then. Ron?
Okay, I'll tell you, it was interesting that the Kansas State team against Iowa State. I thought for the world that the folks up in Ames might be partying tonight. They were up 28-7. K-State came back and won that ball game.
Well, Ron, they're never out of it. Bill Snyder probably did his best job at halftime getting his football team back out there and winning that game.
Well, the personal foul pushes the ball down to the 4 to 14-yard line. Here comes the draw. Homer inside the 10, inside the 5, and he's down to around the 4.
Taking advantage of Alex Brown again, the upfield rush. Derek Homer ran the ball hard here in the second half, or second quarter. Alex Brown going to get a rest.
Second down and just inches for the first as the ball for Kentucky just inside the Florida 5. Ground again, bounces off the tackle. It's a 2-1 touchdown, Derek Homer.
Kentucky taking advantage of a couple penalties, but a nice drive by Dusty Bonner. Derek Homer finishing it off.
Mark Samuel with the extra point attempt. And he got it. Just barely, but he got it. That's 80 yards in 10 plays, aided by 2 personal foul penalties.
Ron, Derek Homer just wouldn't allow his legs to stop moving. He takes a nice hit right here, spins, he keeps his legs moving, and then lowers his shoulder and gets in that end zone. That gives John Hoke and Steve Spurrier something to talk about at halftime, to challenge their football team. And it's a positive for Hal Mumme and his staff.
So we have 84 seconds left until halftime. 28-7, our new count, as Coach Mumme's team had fallen behind by 4 touchdowns. But on that last drive, mixing the plays nicely, 80 yards in 10 plays. And this gentleman at halftime is also going to remind his team and a couple of defensive players that received personal foul penalties that that's not going to be tolerated. That'll be part of his conversation during the break, I can promise you.
Especially the second one. That's the one he'll be emphasizing.
Capel is the deep man as they have the Good Hands team up very close looking for an onside kick, but he kicks it away. And Capel will take this one at the 4. Capel will not make the 20. He will spin and be knocked out at the 18. Wajda, who was the starting free safety, makes the tackle. Well, our lineup next Saturday on ESPN2 at noon. It is from the Big Ten, the Fighting Illini taking on the Hoosiers of Indiana. Then at 6 o'clock, it's Virginia Tech coming off their Thursday whenever Clemson meeting cross-state rival Virginia. Then to the Mountain West Conference, 25th ranked Air Force against San Diego State. And for more, log on to ESPN.com, part of the Go Network, go.com. You see all the hand signals being relayed, and possibly as that ball is tipped a bit, Jackson, the intended receiver. Not sure that the message totally got there. Glad to see Jackson back on the field after getting a tooth knocked out on that series or 2 series ago.
A very special presentation.
Florida still has 1 timeout left. Kentucky's got all 3 of theirs left. So they can use them to get the ball back here. Florida doesn't get a first down.
Here's the running play. Bo Carroll breaks it out 20, 25, still on his feet out across the 30. McCree will make the stop. It'll be a first down, and for McCree, that's like 7 tackles here in this first half unofficially.
Well, he's having a good first half, but the defensive line of Kentucky's not. Florida with the 4 fifth-year seniors and an impressive offensive line, just manhandling the defensive line of Kentucky.
Carlisle, Kalich, Yarborough, Blackshear, and Walker. The guys up in the trenches. Johnson delivers long. It's going to be overthrown. He wanted Jackson. Eric Kelly was out there covering. 48 seconds left until halftime. Steve Spurrier will go at you anytime from any place.
No, he's not taking any lead. He's up 21 points. He wants more, and he's got a solid defense.
Case in point, the game we talked about, Kansas State and Iowa State earlier today. If you think 28-7 is a big lead, ask Iowa State. They were up 28-7 and they lost the football game.
Iowa State's not packing Florida's defense up.
Now a timeout has been called, and Doug Johnson will go to the far sideline, so we'll take it with him. Break in the action. We'll be back with more from Lexington after this.
The Southeastern Conference, setting the standard. An unprecedented year in athletic and academic achievement. 12-member institutions committed to excellence and the promise of the future. The Southeastern Conference, where champions are made.
To 7 our score with 48 ticks showing on the clock. We were visiting with our stats guru, Big E, here, and he says we have had 43 passes thrown in this first half.
Thought right around 85-90 for the day.
So your over number was going to be 90.
90.
Boy, I hope you're wrong. We could be here till tomorrow.
I might have to up that.
Second down and 10. You can see the clock shows 48 seconds. Got the pass away. Has it complete out to Willis.
Nice tackle by Ryan Murphy. Good pressure by Snedeker.
Snedeker was coming off the end and went untouched.
He thought about not playing. He had shoulder operation last year. Was not sure whether he was going to come back. He's the leading defensive player on this football team. Middle linebacker at the start of the year, moved to outside linebacker in the Connecticut games on the Butkus list.
13 seconds down to 12. Johnson puts it up on top again, and Jackson got turned around. That'll stop the clock with 6 seconds. It's Snedeker again back on Johnson.
Ron, one thing you notice, so the receivers of Florida, Jackson and Jacobs and Willis, are getting behind the corners of Kentucky, so they're a little faster than I think what Kentucky thinks they are. They've been open. He just hasn't been able to hit them.
Taylor Jacobs, number 6, comes into the lineup, and he is one of the 3 wide receivers to the bottom of your screen. 4th down and 4 could be the final play of this first half. Snedeker again, pass thrown complete, and that's Jacobs, the man we were just talking about. And with that, time runs out. We see no flags on the field, and they head to the locker room with the Florida Gators leading by a count of 28-7 And Mike, I think anything but a walkabout by Florida in the first half. I think they were very focused. I think their head coach was right on.
Did a good job. Kentucky now has to put some pieces together at halftime.
So our score at halftime is Florida 28 and Kentucky 7. Now with the Buick halftime report, here's Brian Kenny and Rod Gilmore.
Ron, thank you very much. We talk about teams will get surprised. Teams will have letdowns. Spurrier doesn't get surprised. Spurrier has no letdowns, Ron.
No, and, you know, really good defense never lets down at all. And you're seeing a Florida defense come of age. The more they blitz, the better they play. They shut down a running team last week in Tennessee. They're taking care of a passing team tonight.
Let's get to it now. Nebraska, of course, has been struggling offensively. Missouri, meantime, had 2 classics back-to-back years against the Cornhuskers. Would it be the same sort of thing this year? Doesn't look like it. Here we go. Both quarterbacks, Eric Crouch to Bobby Newcomb deep. That quarterback looks pretty good going out there, Rod.
They had trouble last week. They got them both back on the field tonight. They connect for a touchdown.
So Nebraska up on top 26-3. Nebraska has won 20 in a row against Missouri. 25 straight conference openers as well for Nebraska. Now to the Pac-10, Arizona and Washington State. Fourth quarter, it's 24-24. 5 seconds left. Keith Smith for Arizona is back. Hey, take one last try at it. Why not? Bobby Wade is back there. Hail Mary. Pulls it in. No overtime.
NFL Primetime's Tom Jackson says, knock it down. Knock it down.
Arizona takes it 30-24 on that final play. Washington has lost 12 straight games. That's the 3rd longest in the nation. Kent, by the way, with the longest at 16, is leading Bowling Green right now. We'll see. Trunk candidate had 3 touchdowns in this one. Arkansas and Alabama. Sean Alexander only 47 yards against Arkansas last year. 165 on the ground this time around. He's been outstanding all year. But Alabama up 28-21. Freddie Millins takes the pitch. Andrew Zhao in the air. Jason McHadley 65 yards for the touchdown. It's 35-21, but it's not over yet. It's 35-28. 6 seconds left for Arkansas. This looks familiar, Rod.
What do you do? Knock it down, right? Knock it down.
They learned that against Lots. This is the same spot as against Louisiana Tech this time. The Crimson Tide, they've learned. That's frightening for an Alabama fan. See that again.
Oh, same play, same exact spot on the field as last week. This time they get it done. They do knock it down.
Wow, 35-28 the final. So Alabama and Mike Dubose, who needed something good to happen in his coaching career, does happen. Alabama with the win. When we come back, Great Dane going against the Wolverines, who've also got Kansas State down big. Could they come back? And Rick Neuheisel taking on his old friends. We'll be back.
Hey there from Plank Road. When you're drinking beer, occasionally you come across an ice house that has been prematurely abandoned. This is a tragedy, or what we like to call a pinger. Tommy, is this your pinger?
No.
Arnie, did you ping? Marty.
Where's your beer, Mark?
Get the mug of shame. What can we say? Out here, our world is beer.
You sure? Yeah, I'm sorry too. Honey, I tried every locksmith in the city and they won't take a check.
Consider the Visa check card. It automatically deducts from your checking account everywhere Visa's accepted, so you can get what you need.
What are you doing in there?
Nothing. And get on with life. Visa check card. It's everywhere you want to be.
Remember life in the fast lane? First you meet, then you get married, and things slow down.
Yeah, right.
To help you keep up, drive the supercharged Regal GS Sports Sedan. Plenty of room, standard traction control, and the most power in its class. Get up to $35.67 average finance savings with 1.9% APR financing for 60 months on 1999 Regals. Official car of the supercharged family.
This halftime report is presented by the all-new 2000 LeSabre by Buick. Re-engineered to be safer than ever.
And we are back here now on the Buick halftime report. Pick it up with Michigan and Wisconsin. Wisconsin, of course, coming off a stunning loss to Cincinnati, a team that had lost to a 1AA team the week before. Last year, Michigan held Ron Dayne to 53 yards rushing. What would happen this time around. Wisconsin tried to bounce back. Their head coach, Barry Alvarez, coaching from the booth, needs knee surgery. Late first quarter, 7-0 Michigan. Michigan driving. David Terrell taking the handoff. Double reverse. They double reversed him. 45 yards for the touchdown. Michigan going up on top, 14-0. Michigan now up 14-3. Ron Dayne showing some strength. He had some good yardage early on in here, Rod.
Couldn't be contained. Ron Dayne trying to get back at him after last year's mishap. This time, 88 yards.
14-9, Wisconsin trailing, but Tom Brady. Diallo Johnson, 23 yards. Michigan goes up on top, and they eventually win this one, 21-16. Ron Dayne falling 3 yards short of passing Archie Griffin for number 5 on the NCAA list. But the big thing here, of course, is that Michigan does get the win. Well, speaking of which, we had the game day boys out in Madison, Wisconsin. Let's send it back out there now. Again, Chris Fowler had a big crowd out there for Wisconsin. We'll see if they're still out there. Chris, take it away.
Well, Brian, just the three of us here. It's certainly quieted down outside of Camp Randall Stadium, and a Michigan win will do that here in Madison. Wolverines certainly proven guys they can handle physical teams. They've beaten the Irish, they've beaten the Orangemen, now they've beaten the Badgers, and Lloyd Carr pretty impressed.
Yeah, it's a great win. I'm proud of this team. When you can go into Syracuse and then come into Madison back-to-back and win, you've got some great kids, I'll tell you that.
When you're playing a game like this, the team that makes the most plays wins. And I think that's exactly what happened. I thought Michigan made more plays than we did. We had some opportunities. We didn't cash in on them.
Well, what he means is a dropped touchdown pass by Chambers. That cost them 4 points. Blocked PAT, that cost them 1 point, total of 5 points. What's the margin in the game?
5 points.
5 points. That's what he means. For the second straight week, 8 penalties as well. But Michigan's defense really controlled things.
You got to give this kid, Jim Herman, the defensive coordinator, a young guy, but a good defensive coordinator for Michigan. You got to give him a lot of credit. His plan was perfect. 1st and 10, played an invert defense, 9 men in a box, and forced Ron Dayne to the outside. Now watch it. They'll force Ron Dayne to bounce to the outside, and the pursuit will get him. Then when he got long yardage, what do? They come after that quarterback, all different angles. Watch. The blitz. Good book. There he goes down. Now, the plan was excellent. The execution was better. But I tell you what, I like Michigan's defensive plan, and I like their players. They're a good football team defensively.
They really are. You know, the predictable play calling killed Wisconsin, not to mention a lack of a passing game. But I agree with Chris. For the second week in a row, the Badgers self-destructed. Early in the game, crowd was into the game, 3 and out. They held Michigan. Personal foul. They hit the quarterback late, 15 yards. Michigan went on to score. Late in the first quarter, they fumble at midfield. Michigan goes on to score. Chambers drops a sure touchdown in the end zone. They go on. Michigan goes on to take advantage of these opportunities. That was the difference in the game. Wisconsin killed themselves again, especially early.
Fumble you referred to was by Ron Dayne. Held in check in the second half. Finishes up with 88 yards.
Well, what happened is this is Ron Dayne's Heisman Trophy situation. Took a shot. Why? He got 8 carries, no yards in the second half. Yup. That's not good for the Heisman.
No, that's not good for the Heisman. Let's talk a little Michigan offense. Early in the game, Stan Parrish, the offensive coordinator, did a good job of opening up the playbook, taking some chances, throwing the football. We talked about whoever's going to throw the ball would win the game. And how about Tom Brady? Once again, dealing with the controversy about Drew Henson and Tom Brady, he just continues to go out there, showing great composure here. The nail in the coffin as the Wolverines go on to score. I'll tell you what, Tom Brady has handled this situation very well. Last year, he was the starter. This year, when he gets into the game, you just kind of feel a presence about him. He needs to be in there. Henson's the future. Right now, this team is Tom Brady.
Next up, Purdue. First meeting in the Tiller era. Going to be a different challenge for that Michigan defense. Then a game at Michigan State, and the Spartans certainly playing good defense. It is tough in the Big Ten every week. Brian?
All right, Chris, thank you very much. I don't know how they work with the total silence. They can't handle that. Meantime, Florida State and North Carolina. Bobby Bowden with big games coming up in October against Miami and at Florida. Despite the win over Georgia Tech, Bobby Bowden said, "We have not been impressive yet." Would they be impressive against North Carolina? Pick this one up. Peter Warrick, he's been pretty impressive. First quarter, Florida State already up on top 21-0. We're going to let you watch the whole thing. Peter Warrick hit 4 catches for 103 yards, hit 3 returns for 115 yards, and he's going back all the way on this one. 75 yards, he's in.
Yeah, but it doesn't make his top 10 highlight reel. It was nice, but not one of the best ones, right?
Well, you're pretty tough. Yeah. It's pretty tough to top.
Well, he's just a high standard.
42-10, the final there. Meantime, Penn State over Indiana, 45-24. Rashard Casey with a huge day between Thompson and Casey. They were 20 for 27 in the air for 282 yards. Antoine Randall managed to make it interesting. Miami and East Carolina, these guys are in the fourth quarter right now. Hurricanes up on top 23-17. Miami 8-1 all-time against East Carolina. Last time Miami lost to a number 3 ranked team, they followed it with a loss to East Carolina. Pretty close so far. How about this one? Shocking. Fourth quarter, Memphis leading Tennessee 16-10. T. Martin to Cedric Wilson in the final moments puts that in for the touchdown. The extra point is up. It had to be good for a win, and it was 17-16. Absolutely stunning. Texas A&M, meantime, gets by Southern Mississippi in a very good matchup. 23-6 the final there. 15 straight home wins for Texas A&M. Georgia barely got by Central Florida. Central Florida's actually in position to kick a game-winning field goal, and they got driven back. 24-23 the final there. And Cincinnati led Ohio State 17-3 at one point in this game, but the Buckeyes come back and they beat the Bearcats, who had beaten Wisconsin the week before. 34-20 is the final. The Gators getting it done on the ground. We'll be back to talk about this one and much more. Stay with us.
Remember life in the fast lane? I know. First you meet, then you get married, and things slowed down.
Yeah, right.
To help you keep up, drive the supercharged Regal GS Sport Sedan. Plenty of room, standard traction control, and the most power in its class. Get up to 35.67 average finance savings with 1.9% APR financing for 60 months on 1999 Regals. Official car of the supercharged family.
I like to think of myself as an innovator who started a company, Dell Computer, around an idea that everybody should be doing business directly with one another, one-to-one, with no barriers. To me, that's the power of the internet. We'd like to show you how to empower your business in ways you've never imagined. I'm Michael Dell, and it's our reason for being.
Be direct. Dell. Dell servers use Intel Pentium 3 processors.
You can't imagine the tension, Dad. Jamie was our last hope.
Phone calls like this are just too important to rush.
Their picture was huge.
That's why we always dial 10-10-321.
And then Jamie really smacked it.
With 10-10-321, our calls over 10 minutes are half off. That's just 8 cents a minute, day or night. And at 8 cents a minute, we can talk as long as we want.
Grandpa wants to talk to you. I won the game!
Talk as long as you want with 10-10-321.
Back here on the Buick Halftime Report. Over the last century, really, Kansas State and Iowa State have nots. Over the last few years, though, Kansas State definitely a have. Over those last 5 years, K-State has outscored Iowa State 202-57. Wouldn't be a blowout this time around. In fact, Iowa State will get a 28-7 halftime lead, but it's 28-14 here, and David Allen taking the punt, going 94 yards. That's his 6th career return for a touchdown, one shy of the all-time NCAA record. It's 28-21. Then backup quarterback Adam Helm going in for the keeper. Kansas State comes all the way back to win this one, 35-28. That's the biggest comeback for Bill Snyder in his 11 years as a coach.
And a guaranteed quarterback controversy at Kansas State since they had an unproductive John Beasley. They'll be looking for a quarterback starter this week.
To the ACC, NC State and Wake Forest. Jim Caldwell there in the first quarter. Wake Forest up on top 7-zip. Watch the arrow. He's eligible. That's Willie Lamb. He's going to come out the line. Former high school quarterback. He's 305 pounds now, but we're told he was 70 pounds lighter in high school. Either way, he's nimble. He catches it, brings it in. Wake Forest up on top. Way to go, big man. 31-7. Wake Forest with the win. Last week allowed 467 yards to Virginia. Today held NC State to 155 total yards. Wake Forest with the win. To Northwestern and Purdue. Northwestern making this very tough on Drew Brees. Fourth quarter, up by just one. That's his own end zone. Drew Brees coming out of there and finding Vinny Sutherland. Drew Brees was 32 for 50 for 405 yards in the air. He got 99 yards there in the air to Vinny.
Hey, he struggled at times during the ball game, but Drew Brees came back in the fourth quarter with big plays to get the win done.
31-23 is the final. Right now, Northwestern has lost 3 in a row to Purdue. Again, made it very difficult on them, but this sets up a nice unbeaten showdown here with Purdue and Michigan coming up next week. Interesting matchup.
You noticed, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, pretty good matchup we're going to see next week. And you think about that game, Michigan. Now, remember, they've got Michigan State in 2 weeks. They can't afford to look past Purdue, and they haven't played this Joe Tiller team and their style of offense. It's going to be a real interesting matchup for Michigan to see how they handle that spread passing attack.
We'll be able to see that one on ESPN next week. We're going to take a break right now here on the Buick Halftime Report. Much more. Very interesting day, as you can surmise from our highlights. We've got more on the way. Stay with us.
Same quarterback in the second half.
Well, the numbers tell a lot right there. 314 to 105 as far as total yardage and 1 turnover, that one by Kentucky.
And Ron, when you look at plays over 10 yards, Florida's had 12, Kentucky only 3. So bigger plays have gone to Florida.
A couple of things here as far as defensive stats. Tackles, Manuel with a total of 6 tackles, 1 for loss. And he elects not to bring this one out of the end zone as Shanklin goes down on one knee. Adrian Carson, let's check on the sideline with you.
Ron, I got to be very honest with you. I got no real feeling of a sense of urgency from Hal Mumme as he came out of the locker room. Not from him, but certainly from the players. I said, you do have to do anything drastic now with Dusty Bonner staying in the game. You consider him healthy enough to do so. He says, no, at this point, down by 21 points, you have to consider our entire offense is drastic. Bonner stays in. On defense, they figure they have to shut out Florida if they have a shot to win this game now.
Okay, so we'll keep a close eye, though, on number 15 and see if his motion is deterred as the ball carrier's Homer, and he's going to be stopped after a short gain. Again, those tackle leaders, Manuel with a total of 6 to lead the way for Florida. Benny Alexander with 5. Kentucky, both McCree and Willie Gary with 5 tackles apiece.
McCree's had an excellent first half for Kentucky.
Allen tackled just before he gets out of bounds. Manuel is out there to make the tackle.
Big drive here for Kentucky if they want to get back in the ball game. Florida defensively creates a lot of problems because of the, I've talked about their rush, but they've given up a lot of yards, last in the SEC, so they're vulnerable if Kentucky can get a hold of them.
Just barely over 100 yards for Kentucky in this one tonight. And it's Homer again. Tries to take it off the left side. And they, I believe, have the first down. I can't tell from here exactly where he's got that left foot down, but it's going to be very close.
Got a bad spot, I think. His knee may have been down, but
now they signal first down. Mike, if you're a defender, and we've talked about this kind of thing before, going against a no-huddle team that throws it all over the place, and most of them are short pops, and they pick at you and pick at you, it's also hard to keep concentration as a defensive player, isn't it?
It is, but this Florida team's probably gone against Steve Spurrier's offense in the spring, and they probably see this a bunch, so this is right up their alley.
That was Darrell Jackson, number 9. You could see trotting on the field. Big opening, Homer, 10, 15, still on his feet. Got to be pushed out of bounds by Cromartie. And that's the longest run for him tonight, a gain of 19 yards.
The biggest difference in this Kentucky team in the second quarter is Derek Homer. He gave them life in the running game. They're blocking a little bit better up front, but Derek Homer's given them new life.
They could see Sixberry, number 66, blocking out front. Ball just short of midfield. Here comes the blitz. Dumps it right over the middle. Anthony White breaks the tackle at the 40 and still fighting for 8 more yards after that. That is indeed impressive with a good second effort. Good for 19 yards.
Ron, and that's 26 consecutive games that Anthony White's caught a pass. And it was an outlet receiver. He's just going to sneak out. Linebackers got him. Just Dusty Bonner just finds him, and then the yards after the catch, a missed tackle, and he roars up the field. They got 2 nice running backs.
Well, it's a situation on the tackle where the man didn't lock up, tried to kill him, tried to really get the big hit, but didn't have his arms around him. White releases out of the backfield, going to have another first down, and Kentucky has found a little magic here, working the short pass, circling the back out.
They're working the back against the zone coverage, and the linebackers are dropping deep, dumping it to Anthony White, and he's picking up yardage after the catch. So the alternating of Derek Homer and Anthony White is paying off for Kentucky right now.
They both catch the ball extremely well, and what Coach Mumme is doing is keeping a fresh guy in the ball game, which is big. Pitch comes back to Homer. Going to have to hurry on this one, and he is going to be stopped for a loss at the 18-yard line. Manuel and also Davis combining on the stop, and let's check with the studio again.
Ron, thank you very much. BYU with 2 quality wins so far, 2-0, beating Washington and Colorado State, but having problems with Virginia. Dan Ellis to Anthony Southern, 15 yards. He's in for the touchdown. And then later, Dan Ellis to Kevin Coffey. This is going to go 25 yards, and Virginia leading BYU 14-0. Ron?
Wow, that's a shocker. It's those new softball uniforms, I'm telling you. That's a different version they've got on tonight, Mike. That pass is complete, but I mean for naught.
If they would win that ball game tonight, they look like a
Virginia.
No, I'm talking about BYU. They could possibly be an 11-0 football team because they've got a nice schedule, but Virginia's not going along with it.
No, and George Welch does a good job, particularly in special games like that.
And they have Virginia Tech next week, so some might think they were looking ahead, maybe looking ahead, but they don't look like it.
Nope. 3rd down. Quick pass. Oh, my goodness, what a hit by Daryl Dixon. Oh.
Belted up here. Daryl Dixon, a true freshman starting in the secondary for Florida. He read it all the way. Dougie Allen saying, hey, pump that to me.
Well, Pyatt was supposed to block, and he went by him like it was a jailbreak. Samuel with the field goal attempt. This is 37 yards from the left hash mark. He didn't hit this one the best. Aesthetically, there's nothing beautiful, but it counts 3. Tomorrow in the paper, no one will know that he hit it the top half of the ball. 28-10. New score, Florida on top.
Which Sports Center do you watch? Mornings, evenings, late nights? Only on ESPN.
You're probably wondering how I got this spot. 100 collect calls a day with 1-800-CALL-ATT. 1-800-CALL-ATT.
For the same low rate every minute, everywhere, dial 1-800-CALL-ATT.
Buy 4 Michelin tires now and get a free emergency roadside kit. Play the Michelin Buy 4 and Score game and maybe win a Dodge Viper, plus other great prizes. See your participating Michelin dealer by October 31st.
Here at Sonic, we're known as Car Hops. Lifesavers is more like it. Hi, here's your order. Great. Sonic floats and slurry drinks to the rescue. Get them now for only 99 cents each. We can turn any drink or slush into an old-fashioned float or blend it into a cool, one-of-a-kind Sonic slurry drink. Everybody happy? Everything's great. Great. Flavor Flash, try our awesome steak sandwich with some handmade onion rings.
We don't build commuter cars or get you to work fast pinstriped cars. We don't build cars, period. We build the 205 horsepower, get out of town fast Isuzu Rodeo. Because there's more to life than the daily commute.
ESPN's presentation of primetime college football is brought to you by Sonic, America's drive-in. And by Isuzu. We don't make cars because life is too big for cars. The famous Memorial Hall here on the campus at Kentucky. Now the crowd back in this one a little bit. They've cut it to 18 points. They went down 28-0.
That was a nice drive by Kentucky. Take it right down the field and get at least 3 points.
Samuel to boot this one. It's a line drive. Going to be taken at the 2-yard line by Carroll. Return to the right. Now flag up the field. He's off and running across the 40 out to the 42. But the marker has been dropped at the 34-yard line of Florida. Jamal White making the tackle on the special teams. Holding Florida. Check with the studio and Brian Kenny. Brian?
Ron, we have more surprises on the way. East Carolina trailing Miami 23-20. East Carolina 4th place in Conference USA just last year. But look at this, David Gerard to Keith Stokes. He's going in 27 yards. East Carolina leading Miami 27-23. Ron.
You know, I'm not surprised, Mike, that it took those kids a while to get on track because but they didn't get to go home.
No,
a lot of them had their apartments flooded out because of the hurricane that went through up there. And after they went through that adversity, then now they're getting to the business at hand, the adversity of playing the Hurricane.
They beat everybody in every conference. And if they beat Miami, they've gone through their non-conference schedule 4-0.
28-10 our score. 10:45 left in the third quarter. Here comes blitz for the outside and the hot route. They throw it complete to the 28. That's Jackson.
Ron, Doug Johnson in the first half had a nice first half against this Kentucky defense. He was throwing with people in his face. 2 touchdown passes, no turnovers. But look at the pressure Kentucky gets. Throws the nice curl route and then hits him with a touchdown with somebody in his face. And then Smart pats his left thigh pad, calls for the fade on the sideline, throws the perfect fade for the touchdown. He had a nice first half.
Capel catches this one at the 35. He'll take it out to the 40. And that'll be enough for the Florida first down. And there is another one of those plays that is a +9 category, +10, because that's good for 16, 14 yards.
Yeah, make that 13 plays now for Florida, over 10 yards.
That's a lot of extra base hits when you start adding them up. And the coach is always coaching. Young Capel goes to the sideline thinking, I just picked up good yardage here, and the sophomore is getting an earful. Draw play. Gillespie has 5, has 10, had it off at 16 yards, and he'll take it to the 41-yard line.
Ron, Doug Johnson, now this play may have been called from the sideline, but Doug Johnson may have checked this off because Marlon McCree's going to come on a blitz from the outside. He had the perfect play called, a draw up inside the outside blitz. You see McCree coming up from the outside, and all of a sudden Gillespie just hits it inside the block and for big yardage.
So Florida, Gillespie now 7 carries, 67 yards.
He's checking off again.
They go to an I formation. This time behind the block of his fullback, and Dennis Johnson steps into the hole and says, nope, nothing doing.
He might have liked to have that check off back.
Yeah, he may have been in a pretty good play and checked it into something bad. Tennessee and Memphis. What an amazing
big win for Mike DuBose.
Yeah. Mississippi State hands Lou Holtz and the Gamecocks still another loss.
I think they catch Ole Miss next, South Carolina. I believe so.
And that one is in Columbia.
Break up Vanderbilt. They're rolling again, too.
So you want us to break up Hawaii and Vanderbilt.
Hawaii and Vanderbilt. They're on a roll.
2nd down and 10. Johnson way too high, looking for Willis.
Now that's the worst footwork I've seen out of Doug Johnson tonight. He never set his feet. He was fading back all the way, and that's why when he released that ball, he had nothing underneath it, and the ball took off on him.
Well, they need another 10-plus play. They're going to keep it going. Crowd is on their feet and getting real noisy. Blitz off the corner. Johnson's pass got it complete, and it depends on where the spot is. Well, that official keeps curling backwards there. I don't think he got it.
Willie Gary with a nice hit on Caldwell.
Now the 1st and 10 line of ESPN, a computer-generated image drawn across the field, let you know the line to make for the first down, and he's going to be short. So Chandler will come on. 6 of 6 in field goal attempts. His longest 41 yards this year. His career long is 46, and this is a 49-yarder trying to put himself as a personal best, and he's just done it. So erase the 46 as his career long and put it down as 49. And our new score as we take a break is Florida 31 and Kentucky 10. Right back.
With an 83-year truck heritage behind us, we decided to try something a little different. Introducing the 215 horsepower Rally Sport inspired Isuzu V-Cross. Theoretically, still a truck.
Trouble doesn't wear a watch. That's why State Farm offers its 24-hour Good Neighbor service from participating agents.
Hello, State Farm's Good Neighbor Service. This is Gina. How may I help you? Sure, I can help you with that.
So you can call your agent's office at any time, day or night, to start a claim, ask a question, and get the help you need.
You know, you can't accept less from life, because then you'll accept less from your work, then you'll accept less from your weekends, and the next thing you know, you'll accept less from your beer. And you just can't accept less from your beer, because then you'll start accepting less from guys who install satellite dishes, and you might lose reception during an important football game, and hey, that's just wrong. Ice brewed so there's never any watered-down taste. Ice House. Enjoy.
Running back Jones versus Stiff in a game that stirs up deep emotions.
Virginia Tech, Virginia at 6, next Saturday on ESPN2.
31-10, the new score. We're at the midway point of this third quarter. Florida prepares to kick it off. Again, Shanklin is the deep guy, and now sharing that deep spot with Sims, who wears number 3. Good kick. Sims going to watch this one take him all the way to the end line of the end zone.
They've got all phases, Ron, Florida. They got good kickers, good defense, speed on offense, and they got a heady quarterback.
There's that offensive line on the far sideline getting a breather, and you didn't see a coach there having to do any preaching to them, because the preaching's been done, and they have heard the sermon and carried out their duties very well. Homer showing a nice little giddy-up in his stride there, as Cromartie will force him out of bounds, but not before he's taken that thing well down the field, close to the 40-yard line.
And a better job by Kentucky's offensive line. Josh Parrish and Omar Smith opened a nice hole for Derek Homer, and he just looks like fresh legs. He looks quick coming out of the backfield for the Wildcats.
10 carries for 64 yards, and he has the touchdown. White comes in spelling him, number 32. Got that pass complete right over the middle to Whalen, the tight end. As you could see, Whalen really paid for it, as McCaslin was there, and also Keith Kelsey.
He wanted a face mask, Whalen did, because he got sandwiched between the two Florida defenders.
Short of the first down. I think they're going to say his knee is at the 48. Anthony Mitchell, who's spelling Derek Chambers at that left defensive end spot, made the tackle.
He's provided them the offense since he came in the second quarter. Derek Homer has been the man of the hour for the Kentucky offense.
Well, from where they place this down, it might be a little bit closer than I originally had thought, so they'll have to bring the chains all the way across the field. And he got it.
What comes down to, Ron, when you have two teams like this that want to throw the football, the team that runs the football best is going to set everything up, and Florida's had the running game, although Kentucky's coming on here with Derek Homer.
Well, actually, they're being more efficient with the running game than by throwing the football.
And it slows down the pass rush when you get all of a sudden you get somebody popping through in the running game.
Gets that one complete out here in the flat. And it's McCord, who had a touchdown pass against Indiana last week, tackled by Manuel.
And that's just like
That's the first catch by McCord, by the way. Excuse me.
He had going into this game, Ron, you're right. He had 5 catches, 3 for touchdowns. So he's been a big play receiver for Kentucky.
Yeah, Florida has really done a good job of neutralizing him.
Not only when you look at Kentucky's offense, you lose Tim Couch, but you also lose Yeast, big play wide receiver.
Big opening in the middle, and Homer is going to have the first down at the 40-yard line of Florida. And these fans are on their feet right down here in front of us and really applauding the efforts of Derek Homer, a junior out of Fort Knox, Kentucky. Mike Gottfried is exactly right. He's provided not only a spark, he has made it happen on the field.
Well, he's going to push Anthony White. Derek Homer's a junior, Anthony White a senior, but you're going to see more of Derek Homer in the future here in Kentucky.
Bonner with an audible as he comes out and hollers something to McCord, who is at the bottom of your screen. Steps up and goes long over the top, and it is tipped incomplete. And in fact, that post is what he scored last week against Indiana.
Yeah, Robert Cromartie, the fans wanted pass interference, but he just did a nice job of breaking on the ball against Quentin McCord. Should have maybe had an interception. You're going to see him play the ball perfectly and just let it go through his hands. They were all over the deep throw.
Stops the clock at 5:19 left to play in the third quarter. Gators with a 21-point margin. This is a free play. A flag is down, and Bonner, instead of going down, ran it to the sideline as he was going to get 5 anyway. Alex Brown is the man who jumped.
Yeah, Alex wants more sacks. He's been a little frustrated today. Matt Brown has done a pretty good job on him.
And let's check into the studio. Brian Kenny.
All right, Ron, back to Virginia and BYU. We have more scoring, and it's from Virginia once again. Thomas Jones, the All-ACC back, just plowing through, and 21-0 Virginia with the lead. Back to you, Ron.
Well, did you see that quote by George Welsh? He talked about Thomas Jones, the running back. He said he is, if there's anybody better than him now in this country, which is pretty good for George to say that, because he usually doesn't keep the praise on his players, but Thomas Jones, a great back for Virginia.
Short drop. Hyatt right over on the sideline is tackled just inside the 30 by Manuel.
Kentucky's gained a lot of confidence in offense. They're 21 down, but their offense is moving the football against this Florida defense. They've neutralized them with the running game, the short passing game. They haven't been able to get anything deep. But you're looking at Matt Brown. He's had an excellent time with Alex Brown.
Homer not going anywhere this time. Andre Davis, the sophomore out of Live Oak, says this train stops right here. So it's going to be a second down and long situation for Kentucky.
Well, Kentucky looks like they put that play in especially to try to take care of Alex Brown, because it's a pitch to the right. Now they let him go, and then they pull the fullback and block him. But they got some help inside from Andre Davis. But they're working on Alex Brown. They're trying to make him think.
Well, here he comes with the rush, and the pass thrown to Whalen, the tight end, and Whalen will be knocked out of bounds just beyond the first down marker. Manuel again. Adrian Karsten, what do you have for us?
Ron, just a note about Matt Brown and a couple other men on the offensive line for Kentucky. They prepared for Alex Brown the way Alex prepared for Tennessee last week. Really no way that Alex could have another week like he did last week of his career. In fact, Bobby Bowden referred to him as the next Superman, for crying out loud. But Matt Brown, especially up front, really did a lot of work this week on his footwork, getting separation from Alex Brown and kind of shutting him down a bit.
Well, Adrian, to back up your point, Alex has 3 tackles tonight, and that's it. He does have a sack. That ball came loose. Was it still alive? The official says no. It is dead right here. Nope, they have just given it to Florida. Whoa.
And Ron, I was getting ready to make this statement before that play, is that they ran the ball at Alex Brown. So Alex Brown's going to see a lot of teams try to run right at him.
You judge this for yourself. This was really a rather late call. No, looked like his knee was down. But Davis makes the recovery, and Florida will come up with the football at the 14-yard line. Nothing on this running play. Defensively, McCree all over Carroll. Brian Kenny, what do you have for us?
We're on 27-23. East Carolina up on top. About a minute and a half left. Miami with the ball. Kenny Kelly, 4th and 15. Up in the air to Reggie Wayne. No, won't do it. East Carolina, this is a team that spent a week in the hotel due to the hurricane. They're playing away from home. 20 players lost everything in their college homes for the hurricane, but they beat the Hurricanes 27-23, Ron.
Boy, what a huge upset that is. Capel not going to have anything as Snedeker is out there to make the hit on him along with Kenneth Grant. I'll tell you, now that to me is as big a shocker as we've had this year, Mike.
Les Robinson's looking for goalposts too at North Carolina State. But East Carolina, Steve Logan's done a nice job. It's 4-0, and they take two Big East teams to task, West Virginia and Miami.
Third down, they need to take it out to the 25 to keep this one going. Johnson steps up, drills it complete. He had all kind of room. He'll have the first down +8. And Jackson is their go-to guy with Taylor on the sideline. It's good for 20.
And Ron, the zip on that football, when he needed to throw the curl route, he threw the ball and put an extra on it. Daryl Jackson's curling. There's the ball right in the numbers. Number 9, he threw it right to him.
So let's keep up with it. How many plays is that now? 10+ yards on the night. That is 14 as you look at Travis Taylor on the sideline on crutches. Maybe a month or so before he's back in action. Big opening on the running play. And in fact, I think if Bo Carroll doesn't trip over his own offensive lineman, he might still be running.
Yeah, Cooper Carlisle, number 70, who's 6'6", 298. He just trips over his feet trying to cut back. Florida using a no huddle against Kentucky, now not allowing them to huddle and get any kind of encouragement from each other.
We're about to go under 2 minutes to play in this third quarter. Quick drop, look in, and I'll tell you, that is a nice job by Jackson. And you know that that young guy has got to have some kind of roar in his head after getting teeth knocked out earlier. And he's still going over the middle on the quick post.
He'll be getting a late call from a dentist. Ron, they're set up right now. Kentucky set up for the deep pass from Doug Johnson. Corners are starting to squat a little bit on the little short passing game. They ran by him in the first half. Everything's set for a deep throw.
Jackson now 6 carries, 103 yards, and a touchdown. Kentucky gains up at the line of scrimmage. Big running play, and it's the play that should have been called against a 9-man front as Carroll, a shoestring tackle, kept him from going the distance, and it was Wajda.
Yeah, Anthony Wajda had just barely got a little bit of Bo Carroll. Bo Carroll's picked up when Ernest Graham was hurt. Gillespie and Bo Carroll have filled in admirably.
See that block by Frazier, number 40.
Nice block. Tommy Frazier's brother, Rod.
Carroll again, it's time to the right side, bounces it out, lost his balance and went down. It's going to be a gain of about 8. Damari, a sophomore out of Louisville, number 51, put the stop on him.
And how many teams could lose their starting tailback? And then all of a sudden you got Gillespie and Carroll, and you talk about Marks. We haven't seen him, so depth of the depth of this Florida team is just evident.
And now Gillespie checks in and gives Bo Carroll a rest. So Gillespie bounces it to the outside, and he's loose. Tell you what, folks, they just keep bringing body after body in, but the difference I go back to that I talked at halftime, they just plow people at the line of scrimmage. I noticed it last week against Tennessee, and here tonight it is very, very evident. Then you add better than competent or better than average running backs, and that gives you a passing game, Mike, that goes really well because you have to concentrate on the run first.
Well, you're ruining Jim Donnan's evening, and everybody else is going to play them because they're getting sick as they watch this Florida team grow each week and get better.
That is the end of the third quarter. So there's a timeout, and we'll take it with them as we head to the final 15. Our score, Florida 31 and Kentucky 10. Right back.
Joe and Phil both know an important call can come at any time. Because he's a courteous guy, Joe's turning his cell phone off. Phil's leaving his on, which isn't going to win him any popularity contests. But Joe has SkyTel, so even when he turns his cell phone off, a SkyTel operator converts the caller's message to text and sends it right to his pager. So while Joe is looking at the movie, Phil is looking for the exit. SkyTel puts you in control. Can your pager do that?
When you buy a bargain basement PC, what you're really buying is a mystery box. Will there be a monitor? Probably not. A color printer? Ha! A year on the internet, 24/7 tech support? Dream on. With a Gateway Essential PC, you know exactly what you're getting. Monitor, Intel Celeron processor, award-winning tech support, and a color printer for $29 a month. No mystery there. Call now and make no payments until 2000.
Platinum Plus 4. 4 electrodes. Pure platinum. Take your engine to a higher power. Bosch Platinum Plus 4.
Doesn't wear a watch. That's why State Farm offers its 24-hour Good Neighbor service from participating agents.
Hello, State Farm's Good Neighbor Service. This is Gina. How may I help you? Sure, I can help you with that.
So you can call your agent's office at any time, day or night, to start a claim, ask a question, and get the help you need.
We don't build commuter cars. Or get you to work fast pinstriped cars. We don't build cars, period. We build the 205 horsepower, get out of town fast Isuzu Rodeo. Because there's more to life than the daily commute.
Welcome back to Commonwealth Stadium, a 21-point ball game with the final 15 minutes here in front of us. And the Florida Gators, the situation, they have a first down at the 12-yard line of the Wildcats. Collision by Johnson and Gillespie. That may be as hard as Gillespie's been hit tonight.
Give the tackle to Doug Johnson.
Well,
Doug Johnson, I don't know whose fault it was, but
Doug weighs 220. We need to, for people that don't watch Florida on a regular basis, he is a big kid, and he knocked Gillespie down, so he does the work defensively, and they lose 5. Got him in the flat, threw it a little bit high for Jackson. Adrian Karsten down on the sideline. What do you have for us?
Ron, we began the game by saying that, yes, Steve Spurrier does respect Doug Johnson and some of the changes he has made. But I got to tell you, here in the second half, Spurrier is very, very upset with some of the decisions that Doug Johnson has made at the line. Calling audibles, going out of passes, handing the ball off when he shouldn't. And he's not going to take any of the license away from him, but he's very upset with some of the decisions he's made during the second half.
He wants a timeout from the sideline. Not going to get it.
Third down and 13. They go with the running play, and look at this. Gillespie at the 5, and he will score. Good thing they didn't see the head coach.
The head coach of Florida was running down the sideline, making the timeout signal, and then the play was run, and he signaled touchdown.
He just smiled at Doug and said, good play.
So, Adrian, he's back off the hook.
Oh, my goodness. Caldwell with a very good block on the play, number 17 downfield. Chandler with the extra point attempt, trying to make this a 38-10 ball game. And he does. And now here comes in a late flag as they rough the kicker, and it looks like Eric Kelly just didn't stop, and Chandler's limping a little bit as he gets up. Interesting thing here, that would, I thought it would happen after the play, so should come on the kickoff, wouldn't it?
Foul was running into the kicker. That penalty is declined.
Okay.
1 point is good.
So we'll take a break. 14-15 left in the ball game. 38-10, Florida.
And our Craftmatic Model 2 adjustable bed is so relaxing.
It may even temporarily provide relief from my low back pain, Harry. Yet it costs up to 56% less than a quality flatbed.
I adjust my head and feet and fall right to sleep.
Call toll-free to get free information by mail about the Craftmatic Model 2 adjustable bed. This wonderful bed adjusts to hundreds of relaxing positions, offers optional warm, soothing heat, and relaxing built-in massage, yet costs up to 56% less than these quality flatbeds. Up to 56% less. Don't pay more to remain flat. Call toll-free and get complete free facts by mail about the adjustable bed that costs up to 56% less.
Call to get Craftmatic's free catalog right away. There's absolutely no obligation.
Call toll-free 1-800-922-6900. That's 1-800-922-6900 toll-free. 1-800-922-6900.
It's ESPN Sunday Night Football. This week, Michael Strahan and the G-Men look to halt the charge of Drew Bledsoe and the Pats. Giants-Patriots tomorrow at 8:15 on ESPN.
Sounds like a real brouhaha.
Closing in on number 1, the prototypical defensive center, whose dedication to winning led the Boston Celtics to 11 championships. Sports Century athlete number 18, Bill Russell, Friday at 7 on ESPN, presented by General Motors.
Well, we're back as Steve Spurrier visits on the sideline with some of his players. Mike, here's a number that should strike fear in everybody else's heart that has to play Florida this year. In all of 1998, they had 9 rushing touchdowns. They already have 8 this year.
Ron, here's the 8th one. Steve Spurrier was running down the sideline, won the timeout, but Doug Johnson and everybody had their back to him. Didn't see it. Robert Gillespie get benefits. That's one where you say no, no, no on the sideline. Yeah, that's fine.
Well, that's like
we'll take it.
Like that basketball coach that screams no on the shot, and as it swishes court and floor, he says that's a great shot. This is Shanklin. Well, that's a good job on the special teams. That's Sims. Shepard, I beg your pardon. Shepard downfield to make the tackle on the special teams. Well, coming up tonight at 11 Eastern, Sports Center with Linda Cohn and Kenny Mayne. The National League wild card race in a deadlock, the Ryder Cup highlights, Big Ten football, that and more. Tonight at Sports Center for 20 years, your source of sports, news, and highlights.
Like everybody else.
Dusty Bonner, quick out pass, Whalen, and he'll be tackled immediately. That's Benny Alexander. Is that a good game tonight?
At the conference, it should really feel good about themselves tonight. It's Conference USA, a conference that's really growing. East Carolina's win, I was talking about Les Robinson, the AD. That game was played at North Carolina State, so they're tearing down
the storm.
Yeah, they're tearing down the goalposts of Les. They're going to have to replace. But Memphis almost beating Tennessee. Southern Miss playing very well against Texas A&M and Nebraska back-to-back. So conference has got some pretty good football teams. Anthony
White, not much doing on that one. Actually tearing down those goalposts is salt in the wounds of NC State, they got pelted today.
Yeah, they lost their goalposts.
That's what I mean.
A rough day. East Carolina's been a giant killer.
About to go into 13 minutes left to play in our ball game. Florida 38-10. There's not been much question in this one. There's White out of the backfield, going to have the first down. Manuel and Davis combined on the stop.
Ron, coming back to Lexington, I got to see my former college president, Dr. Adrian Dorn, today. He was released from the hospital. He's 90 years young, and so I want to wish him again many, many years. And he's back home with his wife, Manon, and so everybody, Morehead State University, the state of Kentucky, is glad he's out of the hospital and doing fine.
That's great. I had the good fortune to meet him with you one time, Mike. Very nice gentleman. That's Whalen on the end of that pass at the 39-yard line. Davis again, along with Manuel.
James Whalen from the state of Oregon walked in Hal Mummy's office.
His mom put that tape together.
Highlight tape, and he walked on here and said his first goal was to win a scholarship, and he did that. Now it's to be as best a player as he can be, and he's leading all the tight ends in receptions and yardage around this country.
Got 8 catches for 42 yards in this one, and White gets tripped up. Literally. Mitchell there to make the stop defensively.
No, I thought the difference in that, and I picked Tennessee to beat Florida, and the difference I thought was the defensive line of Tennessee's. They have the best looking defensive line, a lot of great players, but this Florida defensive line, I underestimated. I really did. When you talk about Anthony Mitchell making that play, he's the backup. He's 6'5", 260. They've got depth. So they lost all those great players on defense last year, and they got a new bunch.
A new bunch that can play and play well. We'll take a break. 28-point Florida lead.
NFL Tonight, Tuesday through Saturday on ESPN2.
She's a beauty, isn't she?
Yeah, she sure is. Do you mind if I take a closer look?
Be my guest.
You got anything in a 2-door?
Can't do it in life? Do it on the web with the power of the Pentium 3 processor. Don't just get onto the internet, get into it.
What I was trying to do here was capture the hopelessness of modern life. There's no vases, no fruit, it's just quiet. It's permanent, but yet expansive. It's the same here as it is from here. In fact, it's me.
You ran out of paint and the art store wouldn't take a check again, right?
Right.
Consider the Visa check card instead of checks or cash. It's fast, easy, and accepted everywhere Visa is, so you can get what you need.
What I was trying to do here...
and get on with life.
Capture the...
The most powerful V6 engine in its class. The most interior space in its class. Amenities that would surprise you in any class. For those seeking refuge from mediocrity and compromise, we offer the Sanctuary. Presenting the all-new Infiniti i30. It's all the best thinking.
ESPN's presentation of primetime college football is brought to you by Pringles. Once you pop, the fun won't stop. And by Infiniti. Own one and you'll understand. Oh, is that a fantastic moon here in the state of Kentucky or what? Ron Franklin, Mike Gottfried, and Adrian Karsten. Glad to have you along in this Saturday primetime game from Commonwealth Stadium. Been a tough one tonight, but as I mentioned off the top of the telecast, Kentucky playing host to maybe one of the hottest, if not the hottest team in college football. They fake the run, pass a little bit behind the receiver, but he gathers it in, and Davis will have the first down out at the 44.
Well, we talked about Dusty Bonner. He started off great guns and then had a little lapse. We thought a lot had to do with that hit he took, but he has really rebounded and thrown the ball very well, spreading the ball out to his wide receivers, running backs, and his tight ends. So Dusty Bonner gives Kentucky a chance at the quarterback position.
Better hurry. Gets it away for very short yardage as Dougie Allen will make the catch, and then is tackled by Manuel.
To Dougie Allen.
It was Cromartie.
Brought down on the play by Robert Cromartie. Gain of 3.
I think we'll see Palmer in this ball game. Here's the comparison between Johnson and Bonner. Really, Doug Johnson's had an outstanding game. No mistakes throwing the football.
Bonner lofts this one for the sideline, and Dougie Allen makes the reception at the 48-yard line, still a couple of yards shy as Johnson loosens up on the far sideline. Is this one of those situations tonight? If you're Coach Spurrier, did you try to get some playing time for Palmer, or do you let your starter finish it out?
I think you try to get Jesse Palmer some work, because you're one hit away from Jesse Palmer having to take this football team into a very tough SEC.
And we've seen it all over the country already this year. White. There's absolutely nothing there. You look at the tackle. Darrell Dixon was reaching between the legs of the guard and making the stop on it.
Ron, but it wouldn't surprise me if Doug Johnson went all the way, because I've mentioned this every year about this conference. They only play one quarterback.
Yeah.
Everybody. Well, they play one quarterback, and then he graduates, and they plug somebody else, and they don't. They keep him in there.
I think Steve is proving one point this year, though, for people that have thought in the past that he kind of liked to have two quarterbacks around. I think he's proven he likes to go with one quarterback, don't you?
Yes, without a doubt. He said that. He doesn't like the two quarterback system.
4th down and 1. He's going to go on top with this one. Got a man there and hold on.
Ron, it should have been interference.
McCord is who he was looking for, and
yeah, I think he was bumped. Now, I've missed things before, but I thought he was bumped. Let's take a look. Close. Might have been a good call. I may have missed that one again. Benny Alexander on the coverage.
So Florida gets the ball. They go right back to the ground game, and it's Carroll.
Stopped by Jimmy Haley.
And we get Doug Johnson back in.
And 1.
Jesse Palmer waits his opportunity. He understands the situation. He knows it's Doug Johnson's football team this year.
Well, that pass hit at the line of scrimmage and knocked down to Brian Kelly. Let's check with you again.
Incomplete.
Ron, back to BYU and Virginia. Virginia got out on top 21-0. Finally, BYU getting on the board. Luke Staley going in for 3 yards. 21-6 right now, Ron.
Who sold them those things, Mike?
Hutch. The old Hutch uniform. Wow. You know one thing, the air might get to Virginia up there, so you never have enough points at BYU.
Well, that's true. That's true. Here's Gillespie. Runs it back into the boundary, but then very wisely, as he saw it was going down, keeps it on the field of play.
You obviously don't like their uniforms.
Oh, what makes you think that? I
bullseye on them.
Well, the way this is going, we may not have 3 hands of bridge left at this one. Got about 8.5 minutes to go, but some of the locals feel as though they think enough precincts are reporting that they know the outcome of this election. Bo Carroll comes back in, replacing Gillespie. And Florida just trying to keep it on the ground and run the clock as much as they can. Snedeker on the stop. Also Murphy.
Nobody better at coaching quarterbacks than that man right there.
Gain of 1.
And the thing is, you can go to his practice field and watch him, and he never stops coaching, does he?
He coaches, and he. I've always said Bill Walsh, I always felt was the best quarterback guy, and Steve Spurrier's right there because he just, every move is coached.
Pressure from the backside. Johnson didn't feel it, and Dennis Johnson is going to knock him down for a big loss. That's the first time that they've gotten to the Florida quarterback tonight, and I think if you'll look at the replay, the numbers just didn't match. They had more folks than they could block.
Yeah, Dennis, that's one he would like to, Steve Spurrier would like to have seen Doug Johnson check out of. Dennis Johnson, the USA Player of the Year, it came down to Kentucky and Notre Dame, and he signed with Kentucky out of Harrodsburg, Kentucky, and his dad now is an AD here at University of Kentucky. He was the former football coach at Harrodsburg.
So it's third down in a very long way, close to 20 yards. And Doug Johnson now will call a timeout with 6:48 showing on the clock. And we'll take it with him. It is Florida 38 and Kentucky 10.
If you were a new luxury car, how would you stand apart from the rest? Would you have the most powerful V6 in your class? Or the largest interior? Maybe you'd offer amenities you couldn't find anywhere else. Imagine how special you'd be if you could claim all of them. Presenting the all-new Infiniti i30. It's all the best thinking.
Hey there from Plank Road. When you're drinking beer, occasionally you come across an ice house that has been prematurely abandoned. This is a tragedy, or what we like to call a pinger. Tommy, is this your pinger?
No.
Arnie, did you ping? Marty.
Where's your beer, Mark?
Get the mug of shame. What can we say? Out here, our world is beer.
These days, at more and more hotels, breakfast is on the house. What's different about our complimentary breakfast is what you have to go through to get it. Embassy Suites, a design for living.
Now the tests start for Purdue's Drew Brees. A scary month begins in the Big House.
Purdue, Michigan at noon, next Saturday on ESPN.
And we're back, just under 7 minutes to play. 38-10 Kentucky trailing Florida, and it's third down. They called a timeout. It's about 19.5 yards to pick up the first. Deep over the top, got a man there, and he couldn't quite get it to Willis. Kenneth Grant with the cover.
Alan Ryan in punt formation.
So Ryan standing in to punt. Shanklin again is the deep man for Kentucky. Low pass from center, gets his kick away, and wow, what a response. This is a howitzer. Hits right at the goal line. It goes into the end zone. That's a really good job under duress.
47 yards.
Well, our lineup next Saturday at ESPN2 at noon. We start from the Big Ten. It's the Illini taking on the Hoosiers. Then at 6 o'clock, Virginia Tech will square off against Virginia, who's having a lot of success tonight. Then the Air Force against San Diego State will wrap it up. For more, log on to ESPN.com, part of the Go Network, go.com.
Where are we going to be?
If I had to guess, what do you think? Knoxville? Auburn and Tennessee?
I would think so.
And if that's the case, then we would be in Knoxville 2 weeks in a row, because the following week we're going to be there for Georgia at Tennessee, which should be another really good football game. Hyatt. Gain of about 7. And Adrian Karsten, let's check with you. What do you got for us?
Ron, I have one of the most recognizable names in the history of Kentucky college football. That man, Jerry Claiborne, who is going into the College Football Hall of Fame, and he was honored this evening here at halftime. Head coach here, he guided Kentucky to at least 5 victories in 7 consecutive seasons, including trips to the 83 and 84 Hall of Fame Bowls. Played for Bear Bryant, as a matter of fact, Ron, as a blocking back and a defensive back.
Well, they dumped this pass off to Wayland, and there's a flag. Now 2 flags coming in. I think it's going to be a face mask. Go ahead, Adrian. We'll check this penalty. You can finish your story on Coach Claiborne.
Quite a fine gentleman, Ron. He was here tonight with George Bland, another great Kentucky football player, but still holds the University of Kentucky's single-season record for interceptions, with 9 interceptions during the 1949 season. Jerry Claiborne.
Well, he sure got a great ovation, well-deserved. So did George Blanda, for that matter, when they came out with a special
resulting in a first down.
And one of his assistants, Jake Hallam, stopped up to see us. He was a longtime assistant here at Kentucky. He was part of the group that came to be a part of this festivity.
There's the retired number of George Blanda. Oh, what a great one he was. And he played forever, didn't he?
Yeah, he probably still could play.
Got this one right over the middle. Wayland will make the grab as Kelsey tackles him. And let's check in again with Brian Kenny. Brian?
Ron, back to Virginia and BYU. Mike was talking about Thomas Jones, running back for Virginia. He's at it again, this time 45 yards away, picking his spots, and off he goes. 7 rushing touchdowns on the year. 28-6, Virginia with the lead.
You know, the last time I saw Virginia do that, Brian Kenny, was last year at Virginia Tech, and they wound up faltering in the second half and lost in a high-scoring game. Don't mean to bring George any bad luck as Wayland makes the catch.
I was thinking about what George Welsh said about Thomas Jones, and he's just not the kind of guy to throw all those superlatives out there. And Thomas Jones, not a lot of people know about him, but he's a great back. He's got a brother who plays at Notre Dame. So a pretty athletic family. Freshman at Notre Dame this year.
4:45 left in our ball game. Dumps that one out, and White went down to a knee.
Where are we at in this passes, Ron? What's our total? We said 80. No, I said 90. I'm not going to change it.
I would say you can't change
no,
midstream.
I can't change.
How many total passes have we had?
Need a calculator.
78.
Still a lot of time.
Brown with the pressure, but he ran right by him and still after him. And he is going to be knocked down finally by Bullard, number 11.
Thaddeus Bullard. Now he's playing with Alex Brown. They got both pass rushers in there on both edges.
They've done that a few times tonight to get that quick burst.
You like calling his name Thaddeus.
Do you?
Oh, yeah. Thaddeus Bullard. It's one of the best names in college football. Long night.
Gets that one away, and that's going to be Homer. Manuel again. He's had him all night. He's there to make the stop. And again, Thaddeus Bullard with the pressure. I should have let you say that.
No, that's
you enjoyed hearing
I
me?
enjoy hearing you say that.
Well, good. It is now 4th down. And a timeout has been called by the Wildcats. So they'll stop the clock with 3:01 to play. And let's take a timeout with them. Back with more from Lexington right after this.
We served our first Sonny's barbecue plate in 1968. And now we're celebrating our 31st anniversary with all the barbecue chicken and pork ribs you can eat. Served Sonny's style with French fries, coleslaw, and garlic bread. All you can eat chicken and ribs for just $7.49 at participating Sonny's, where the good old days just keep getting better and better. Yummy.
The new Stark Ford Mercury. New ownership, new management, friendly and honest people.
We have program cars and exec cars. Buy this 98 Taurus for only $299 a month. Buy this 98 Contour for only $287 a month. I guarantee you the very best price, no gimmicks, no hassle, and no high pressure.
No gimmicks. If you want a fair deal, no gimmicks, no high pressure, then come to the new Stark Ford Mercury, Highway 301 in Stark.
I'm Kenny Mayne. Ahead on SportsCenter, the U.S. tries to play catch-up at the Ryder Cup. The Mets try not to lose again. And ranked teams face major upsets in tackle football. Join me and Linda Cohn, SportsCenter, 11 Eastern.
3:01 left to play in our game, and reminding you that coming up next, Residence Inn College Game Night. That's followed by SportsCenter at 11 p.m. Breaks the tackle in the clear inside the 25, and he's down to the 22-yard line. 22 yards in that pass play.
Dusty Bonner did a nice job in the face of a twisting line stunt and found this tight end, James Whalen.
UK at the 22.
About to go under 2.5 minutes left to play in this one. Then he's going to run out of bounds to stop the clock with 2:22. Bullard and Warren in hot pursuit of him.
How about that? Stanford beating UCLA.
After they gave up, what, 61-62 to Texas? Texas, speaking to them, 62-0 over Baylor.
Texas gets Kansas State next week, right?
Tell you what, Michigan State is not only playing well since Mo left down at Morris Watts left down at LSU and went to Michigan State.
Bob Casulo, he's another guy, left Georgia Tech.
And they're scoring a lot of points up there. Davis making the tackle on Homer.
Homer's had a good ball game, Ron. He's going to make a push in this Kentucky offense.
Young man who's only a junior, is out of Fort Knox.
Florida wants a timeout.
So we'll take the timeout. Florida calls it with 1:48 to play. Back with the remaining moments from Lexington after we pause for this.
The most powerful V6 engine in its class. The most interior space in its class. Amenities that would surprise you in any class. For those seeking refuge from mediocrity and compromise, we offer the Sanctuary. Presenting the all-new Infiniti i30. It's all the best thinking.
If you think all ATVs are created equal, you've never ridden a Yamaha. The new Kodiak 400 Automatic and Big Bear 400 from Yamaha. Because out here, bears rule. Now, for a limited time, get low monthly payments on every Yamaha ATV and a great deal on a winch flower generator with select models.
And hey now, what am I been on a fine little old pony like? I've been down 10,000 word about Mr. in the blue shirt. I'm going to 56 moments. Hey!
Avoid internet distractions. DowJones.com delivers only business information with an extraordinary all-business search engine, customized content for leading industries, and more. DowJones.com. It's all business.
Heavy volume.
Wicked heavy.
One of the Mummies on hand tonight, 38-10 our score. Time is back in. And following a 22-yard gain by the tight end, Whalen, Kentucky sets up shop at around the 23-yard line. Headed for the end zone, tipped and knocked away.
Lester Norwood, perfect position as a free safety. They tried to hit Quentin McCord. Ron, I was thinking as I was watching the sideline of Florida, Doug Johnson, Steve Spurrier's going back and forth and talked to him, but Doug Johnson said he didn't want to be known as the quarterback that didn't win a championship. So he's all fired up about this season, and he's given good leadership to this Florida program.
Almost intercepted. So the fourth down play goes for naught, and now all Florida has to do is just go down on a knee, and this one is indeed over. Well, our Visa players of the game from the University of Florida, Bo Carroll, 13 carries, 86 yards, and a touchdown. He really got things going tonight for the Gators. And from Kentucky, Derek Homer, similar situation, came onto the field and just put a spark in their offense. 16 carries, 83 yards, and he scored a touchdown tonight as well. McKinnon is in at quarterback. And that's the young man we're just talking about. Chuck Marks, number 22, comes in, and he gets the first carry. Marks again, tries to get outside, will turn the corner, get the first down. Gary bumps him out, but he also went out of bounds to stop the clock, which I'm sure his coach didn't.
Well, his coach doesn't like it, but Chuck wants to carry the ball a few more times. So, and he shows good quickness. Florida Gators got Alabama next week, and then they go down to LSU. And that game right here, the Georgia game, be interesting. Of course, everything rides on this one right here at Florida State. But they got a schedule. Now, they should take care of business. They should be sitting, waiting for Florida State. Undefeated.
Fade route to Jacobs, thrown complete out to the 45.
This is a good coaching job by Steve Spurrier. I just can't commend him enough. Loses his coordinator, Bobby Stoops, to Oklahoma, and he's doing a very good job there. Brings John Hoke in. Offensively, feels like this is one of his better clubs. Doug Johnson stays in the summer. Defense, all of a sudden they lose everybody, and they're good defensively again. So they're winning some recruiting wars. Many recruiting wars.
Marks simply won't go down. That should be the last play of the ball game. As the clock is at 12 and now at 11 seconds. Doug Johnson looking on. Hal Mumme heads across the field to shake hands with Steve Spurrier. And the Gators will remain undefeated as they win this one tonight by a final score of 38-10. Coming up next, Residents Inn game night followed by Sports Center. For Mike Gottfried and Adrian Karsten, this is Ron Franklin. We say good night, everyone, from Lexington, Kentucky. And now let's rejoin Brian Kenny in the studio. Brian.
Ron, thank you very much.